Good afternoon everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well, hope you've had a good weekend and start of the week so far as well, wherever you are in the world. It's good to be back. It's been 7 days I think since our last live stream. And that's obviously because of a fairly rigid work schedule that's a little hectic. And yesterday the woofer went in for some x-rays as well, so no stream yesterday. Too many things going on there. Hope you're well, thanks for joining us. David, Chinook and Rab, welcome guys, and everyone else tuning in wherever you are in the world. We begin our journey today here at the iniBuilds wonderful London Heathrow Airport EGLL for a historic BMI flight. British Midland International, up to Teesside and back again. Teesside with 2 S's, even though the thumbnail has 1 S in it. But we're not the spelling police. Lazarus, Kalispera, Bernie, hello to you as well. And the Flying Panda, hi. Today we've got 1 copy of the Flight X Simulations new Teesside Airport scenery to give away, courtesy of our friends at iniBuilds. All the terms and conditions are in the live stream description, so take a little look at those and have a good read. Get familiar with them before you enter. As with any other live streams we've done on the channel, all you've got to do is make sure you're subscribed first. Ensure that it's legal in your country to take part in this kind of giveaway. I know in places like Northern Ireland it isn't. And that you answer a question in the live chat correctly. But here we are. My first experience of Fenix version 2. Block 1 of the new update. Much anticipated. Hugely needed as well, at least for people like me that were getting loads of issues with it across 2 different computers now as well, so it's not exactly like I'm doing something wrong. My old rig and my new rig was really having problems with the Fenix version 1, various bugs and issues with reverse thrust and that horrendous landing bug and everything else, but we've got this new exciting Fenix V2. I haven't flown with it yet, I haven't tested it yet, so this is going to be a live first look for me today. 2 sectors, about an hour a piece, and I'm looking forward to diving into it, to be honest. Fenix version 2, I've been very excited for it, really hopeful, and I'm glad it's here. It's taken a while, hasn't it? Badger, good afternoon buddy. So let's dive in. We've got the new GSX update which incorporates the Fenix V2 Block 1 and self-loading cargo, which was updated yesterday with the new patch. So I've updated that, and in conjunction with the new layout of the Fenix A320 I have updated our Osprey Airways scheme as well, so that we have 180 seats on board. Where are we? Surely that can't be everybody boarded. Are we boarding? I don't actually know. Doors are closed. Oh, for goodness sake. So this is this is the Fenix fighting. Yeah, so this is the that's really frustrating. So we haven't got anyone on board yet, even though we were meant to start boarding a few minutes ago, because the Fenix was boarding itself using the EFB. Once it done's boarding complete, it is then binned off the jetty and got rid of it, which has then meant we can't board.
Hello.
Brilliant.
Hi, Captain. We're ready.
That's something to bear in mind for the future.
Okay to begin?
Yes.
We don't want that one.
Whenever you like.
We want
I'll let the rest of the crew know, and we'll get
Fenix
started
loading,
as
boarding and
passengers
things.
start
So
arriving. It could be a few
there's our
minutes yet,
centre
though.
of gravity. We've loaded 139 passengers
All
in the
stations
sim.
prepare to start boarding.
We don't have them inside self-loading cargo yet, but we'll watch that simulation take place too. Yeah, there is a setting for it. There's a number of my different settings and tweaks and things have reset from this. The one thing I have done is throttle calibration. I'm sure you'll be pleased to know. I followed their advice actually as well, because Fenix version 2, they stated that it would be worthwhile uninstalling the Fenix completely, then installing it fresh. So I've followed that to ensure that we kind of get the best experience possible and as seamless an update as possible too. So gross weights, gonna scribble this down on my notepad. 61.7, Mac GW 31.0, but the zero fuel weight figures 56.1, over 32.4%. By the way, something that I've noticed while I've been on the ground here for about 30-40 minutes or so, we're on Unicom 122.8. We don't have any ATC here at London Heathrow for the start of our trip today, but something a little frustrating actually, it is not difficult to find out the actual runway in use at Heathrow in real life. How? Flight Radar 24.
Ground to Cockpit.
It's free, it's simple, and it takes a minute.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've watched maybe 15 or so, maybe 10, 15 pilots taking off on 27 right, when in real life 27 right is currently in use for landing, 27 left in use for takeoffs, and then at 3 it will switch with the runway change. It doesn't take long, folks, but if you want to go on VATSIM, you've got to take those little extra moments just to plan accurately. Otherwise everybody ends up following like sheep and it gets a bit messy. You'll have somebody flying in
Thanks a lot.
expecting 27 right, and all of a sudden he's got aeroplanes trying to take off in front of him.
When you're ready to go and we'll
Not
get moving.
good.
No problem.
Worth checking every time. 56.1. Ground services. We're going to go into that sim setting thing because somebody mentioned it a moment ago, which is, oh, where is it? Sim settings. Yeah, there it is. Airframe. Yeah, analog will be fine. We need those linked. Auto jet weight simulation off. Door simulation is fine though. Yeah, I mean, specifically hello Ashley, for me at Heathrow. Other airports like Gatwick, it doesn't matter. Manchester, it doesn't matter either. A lot of the time on VATSIM they'll use single runway operations. Only caveat to that though is if they're landing from the west on, is it 05? Left and right at Manchester, because they will always use, God, I'm trying to remember it now. They will always use 05 right for landing, 05 left for takeoff at Manchester, I think. There's a weird caveat, I can't remember entirely now. Let's get that in line. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I do like that animation. That's my favourite animation in this. It shouldn't be, but it is. 1016 for the QNH. Let's sort our standby instrument as well. And then we can pop our figures in here. So the changelog for this was quite vast, and to be honest with you, I've forgotten a lot of it. But I'm just looking forward to throwing myself into seeing what it is like to compare how our previous flight in this felt against our current experience now. Last time this flight was operated in real life by BMI was the 28th of March 2009. Little fun fact for you. That's how long ago it was. We could do fuel planning, but we've got 5.6. Yeah, 5.6 on board. And then we turn our attention to the perf page. Oh, we don't want 1080, what the heck? 1808/1080. That's a bit better. Departure and performance. Radio through the seats. It's a bit better. It's a bit dark, isn't it? Hopefully you guys can see this. So we need to toggle this a little bit to 27 left. Runway surface is dry and we'll sync the final load sheet. Just going to have a look at boarding. Yeah, we're doing okay. So we might be a little behind, but we've got almost half the aircraft loaded now. We're doing good to get the time back. Packs will be on. Let's see what it gives us for the optimal. 1+F is what we're expecting. Ashton, good morning. Flaps 2, down 0.5. Surely not. I'm not convinced that's accurate at all. I know that says optimal, but come on. We're not doing that. We will also use an intersection. So if I fire up the charts. We're here in the Romeo cul-de-sac, Terminal 3. We're going to push start. It's a bit of a funky push here, but we're going to head out via Alpha, and then we will use, let's use November Bravo 3 for a good old intersection. Alright, November 3 then. Afternoon, Tim. Hope you're well. Very nice dock. Right, down 0.5, flaps 1. There's our V speeds. We've got the takeoff shift set to 400. 400 metres beyond the threshold for our takeoff today, and a flex of 68. Wicked. Let's scribble that down on my notepad. So shift 400. 1DN 0.5, 68 flex. 1080 for the engine outs. We've already popped that in already. Well done us for guessing that. 131, 135, and 135. So the thrust reduction altitudes, that's when you get that spooling down of the aircraft's engines to kind of smooth out the climb after takeoff. We don't need max power to climb straight away, of course. So in the Boeing, we would just set for 1,000 foot above ground level. We would simply set 1,000/1,000, 1,000. In the Airbus, it doesn't do that for us, so we have to look at our pressure altitude here, 1016. That gives us an altitude above sea level with 80. So we're going to add 80 to 1,000, therefore 1,080. What's that boppy tune? Something quick math. 2 + 2 = 4 quick math or something. I don't know. You guys, I'm sure, know what I'm on about potentially. 0.1 wasn't it? Down 0.1. I hope you do anyway. Otherwise, I'm going to seem super strange. 131 for V1. 135 rotates, and to match V2. Happy days. Transition altitude 6,000, and 1228 selected there. And already, I'll be back in a moment. Somebody at the door. I need to make sure the dog's okay, of course. 2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3. Quick maths, that's it, James. I'm back. We got some special cones for Loki's physio now, which is quite cool. He has to do multiple kind of steps over these little cones a day. A little bit like football training, really. Yeah, the BMI livery is quite cool, isn't it, Christopher? Hello to you as well. I did like BMI Baby back in the day as well. I always saw that at Birmingham going on holiday as a nipper, as a wee lad, living on a player. Good morning. How are we doing with this? Jetway connected. Almost there, and we've got 5 minutes to push, so doing well. That gives us a little bit of time then to do a quick welcome on board to the passengers.
Good afternoon,
flight to Teesside.
This is your captain speaking. I'd like to welcome you on board this afternoon's flight. I hope you're all well. We're currently preparing for departure up here in the cockpit, and once we're airborne, we'll be climbing to our cruise level of 30,000 feet. We hope to depart very shortly. We're not expecting any delays.
Not sure if 30,000 is too high for this, you know. We'll find out. There's the METAR. In the live chat for you guys, temperature is 18 degrees Celsius, and because this is super short, we're going to get this done early, except for Barrow and radio, so our landing data. Our performance page is done. Init A,
very favourable, so we expect to arrive on time at our destination.
Init B,
We will of course keep you up to
and
date should there be
our
any
departure
changes.
alongside
The ground crew
our
have finished
route.
loading the aircraft, so if you could get yourself seated and secured, we'll be able to get going straight away. Thank you very much for flying with us, and I hope you enjoy the flight.
And then we're doing this TD thing, so we're going to go back to the charts, and we are going to have a look at, where is it, our departure. So taxiing out, taking off 27 left, umlaut 1 Golf departure here at Heathrow today. Initially outbound, and then after a few hundred feet, turning 297 degrees to intercept the inbound track 297 towards the Burnham NDB 421, then heading northbound up to umlaut. So we'll continue upwards all the way to flight level 300. I hope we've got a good cruise altitude for today. Doc has planned it based on real world previous flights, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Airport elevation of 83. En route, we're going to be routing all the way up towards East Midlands and skirting to the east of East Midlands Airport. Beautiful Pyrig Devco scenery there for us. We might just catch a glimpse maybe of the power station or something. And then heading up to Upton, and then to Glasgow. And at that point we're going to start to vector ourselves in towards Teesside, and that's because there are no stars. So if we go back to the airports tab and we look at the charts at Teesside here, we've got arrivals like so. In from Glasgow, straight in.
Hi, Captain. Just to let you know that
So we're going to be doing that. We'll pin that.
Excellent.
From there, with the weather, we're expecting 290 at 7 for the wind. We're expecting one of these approaches. So direct arrival west 10 DME arc ITD. That's one option. I think that might actually be what we do. So let's go to plan. Let's see. We're going to go to yeah, 10 for now, and we can just step through. So hopefully you can see both the screens. I'll wiggle it across a little bit more. So all the way up north, Welling, Cooper, Leicester, Upton, bottom of descent. Sorry, top of descent, Batley, Rimtower, Boxer, Glasgow. And then we're flying in like this. So that's the TD1 selection for our arrival today. Couple of stands. Hopefully we get to the main apron. And limited departures as well, will just be direct to FX. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So Glasgow up to Teesside International, so straight in 30 miles over the field. This is probably what we're going to end up doing. I might just let LNAV do it. Either that or we hand fly this DME arc. Roll between QDM 60 to QDM 157. Alternative procedure: arrive overhead lock centre not below MSA, only from within sector entry between QDM 337 to QDM 60. Fly outbound 026, CAT C and D 007, descending to 1900 and 8 DME, turn right to intercept the lock. So that's probably what we'll do there, the alternate procedure, although it is not charted. Basically we're going to fly up to Teesside's NDB 347.5. Then we're going to head 007 degrees, descend to 1900, and then at 8 DME from our final approach, our threshold ILS ITD, we'll then turn right to intercept the localizer and fly an ILS approach starting from 1900. That'll work, I think, he says. But anyway, TD1 is the one that we had planned, so that's the one that we have therefore set. We will see how we go. I don't think we're going to use the LNAV for the arrival, to be honest. It doesn't look like it is as we expect it to be, or as we need it to be as well in this Category C aircraft. So, load sheets.
established on the ILS 27 right, seat traffic.
Prepare for pushback. Right. Let's get rid of that. How are we doing? Self-loading cargo. Do we have everyone on? Awaiting door closure. Jolly good. Right, so let's
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
trigger that. That's gone away now, so that should mean then that therefore the door is closed. So, Chuffineck. Disconnected the ground power without telling me any. Love it. Okay, now we're on time. About to be slightly behind. 41 minute ago. Expected on schedule currently. That's all good. Waiting for beacon light to switch on. Let's fire that up now then, because it does take a little while
Ground to copy.
for SLC to kind of connect the dots.
Go ahead. Call me when you require pushback. Actually, we're all set to go now. Feel free to get connected.
Jan, welcome. I haven't done version 2 yet, buddy.
Ground code is connecting.
This is, as I said earlier, on the first flight that I've done in it, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to watching me give it a good go. Put it through its paces on this short, historic, domestic hop to Teesside and back. We're not ready for push just yet.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Just a reminder, if you're using software to track your virtual airline flights, you might want to start it now if you haven't already. Roger. Ground to cockpit. Go ahead. Tow is connected. Release parking brakes when ready to push back. Roger.
Okay, that's the giveaway armed.
And traffic sim for my call for 27 right, Heathrow traffic.
That's all good. Let's pause the music. Music, maestro. Ground crew. Release parking brake. Happy days. That's already. That's very good. So, where are we? Clear. Right. Let's close the flight deck door. Shut the punters out. And we want to push facing kind of easterly, really, but it depends on what we get. So, let's have a look at these options for this custom pushback. Southeast on Romeo. That'd be the one. And there's the giveaway question, folks. Dismiss Fenix GPU remove chocks. Chuff your neck. There we go.
Release parking brakes, please.
Heathrow traffic, Midland 5 Whiskey Tango, stand 309er. Push and start. Southeast on Romeo.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push.
All
APU's good. Beacon lights, lights and
Stand by while we
signs.
start pushback.
FedEx ignition start.
Cabin
Fully
crew,
mode selector
please set doors
switch.
to
Power to the
automatic.
FedEx and engine 2.
Okay, Captain. We're clear of the stand and you're free
Start.
to start engines.
Heathrow traffic, Osprey 45 Papa Charlie pushing back, gate 1281, correction 218 left onto Kilo.
Initial climb 6,000, so as we're doing this we can monitor the engine start and we can just set up some of the other bits like that initial altitude there. New sounds apparently in the Fenix as well, which are very exciting.
Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the crew, I ask could you please direct your attention to the monitors as we review the emergency procedures on board this beautiful Airbus A320. Please take a moment to listen and ensure the safety of everyone on board. There are 4 emergency exits on the aircraft. Take a moment to locate the one closest to you and note that it may be behind you. Count the number of rows to the exit. Should the cabin experience pressure loss, please stay calm and listen for instructions from the cabin crew. Oxygen masks will drop down from above
EGT
your
still
head.
rising.
Place the mask over your mouth and nose like this, then pull the strap to tighten it. Make sure you put on your own mask before helping others.
Ashley says love the new buzzsaw sounds on the engines when spooling up. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't tried them, any of the noises to be fair, so I am genuinely quite excited for this. I've had, those of you who watch regularly know that I've had quite a fair few problems with the Fenix over time.
Roger.
So for me this feels like a new aircraft, and I am genuinely really excited about flying this today. Really looking forward to it. Let's tune the Burnham VOR. Where is it?
Okay, Captain. Looks like a good start up on all
421.
engines and tow is disconnected. Nose wheel is free, so you're good to go. We'll get ourselves disconnected now, so have a safe flight. Look out for the pin on the left, and we'll see you next time.
Unlocking gear.
Thanks very much. Pin on the left, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay, engines 1 and 2 are good.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Aha.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Ground spoiler's armed, but I've just noticed my flaps, which are in here for control config. Got to go across and across. Flaps calibrate. Okay, so that's flaps up. 1, 2. Doing this on my Honeycomb Bravo live, folks. Store calibration. Flaps 1. Genius. Okay. Nose wheel. Lights on. APU bleed off. That's all good. Heathrow traffic, Midlands 5 Whiskey Tango, taxiing to hold point November Bravo 3, runway 27 left via Romeo and Alpha. Heathrow traffic. Okay, so ground spoilers armed, auto brake RTO, sorry not RTO, it's auto brake max in the Airbus. Let's turn some of these up though. It's a very dark flight deck still, isn't it? Here we go. First flight in Fenix V2 Block 1. Which I noticed isn't actually called version 2. If you notice that in the client, it's like version 1.5 something something something. How are we doing with the cabin then? Ooh, a bit firm on the old brakes. Just going to tap the brakes a few times, and then I'm going to do some control surface checks as well as we taxi out. I'm going to do rudder just before we begin to actually get any speed up. Just to refresh the sim a little bit with its settings. I'm going to go full right on the stick, back to neutral, fully left on the stick, back to neutral, all the way back on the elevator, back to neutral, and all the way forwards, back to neutral. Cabin crew are almost at cabin secure for us. Away we go. Lovely Concourse down there for us today, although we're not taxiing right up to it. Takeoff config test, that's normal, and we're waiting for cabin secure from the crew before we press that button. So yeah, to enter the giveaway, all you've got to do is make sure you're subscribed, read the terms and conditions before you enter, because you agree to those by entering, and answer the following question correctly. What is the 3-letter IATA code for Teesside Airport?
Kilo, Bravo, Alpha, Alpha 2, Alpha, holding point Alpha 3, runway 27 right, Heathrow traffic.
So, ignition mode's back to normal, ground spoilers on, flaps 1+F set, transponders set ready, we'll turn that on shortly, predictive wind shears on, GCF on multi-scan on automatic. Auto brake is on max, flight directors are on, and FCU is set and cross-checked, all the takeoff data is set. And yeah, we're just waiting literally for cabin secure now from the cabin crew, which we can kind of monitor here. We've got two rows there that aren't yet cross-checked. Seated, secured 139. Intercom.
All stations, seats for takeoff, please.
Should be getting a cabin secure still soon. Ready for takeoff. Watching the crew slowly get secure. Whole cabin's green now, that's good. Tim, very nice. Super close. Cabin. Doc mentioned something like that in the live chat a moment ago, didn't he? Where is it? Doesn't clear the cabin ready ECAM memo. I don't know what you mean though, because you haven't said anything else up to that point. How do we get that cabin secure then? Oh, now it's ready. We just needed a minute. Cloudy Box says Fenix is recommending all linear for high-end sticks, minus 30 for lightweight sticks. I have no idea what that means. Linear stuff. When they say it's got to be linear, I always look and think, well, what is linear? Where's he going? That Osprey over there. Please not to 27 right. Oh, it is as well. My goodness, Rogue Osprey sacked. Oh, I think have I overshot? November Bravo 3 now. No, that's 4 Echo because Kilo. Yeah, Lima's there. So it's 27 left, everybody. God's sake. This isn't difficult. 27 left is in use in real life currently. Break. Heathrow traffic. Midland 5 Whiskey Tango. I think I've got an aircraft on final actually. 27 left. Holding short November 3. For goodness sake. This doesn't happen, folks. On anywhere else other than Heathrow. Just uniform chaos. Check your flight data and make sure it's all good. Make sure as well, airports like Heathrow, just check Flight Radar 24. It's so quick and easy. Check to make sure that you are using the correct runway, because they are not. They're just following SimBrief blindly. And SimBrief is often wrong. SCH 7 Alpha Lima. ILS 27 left. How many miles? Ah, screw it. Heathrow traffic, Midland 5 Whiskey Tango is immediate takeoff 27 left, Dunlap 1 Golf departure. This is going to be a quick one, folks, just to help him out.
Heathrow traffic was 495 moving about November 3.
Let's go, Flex SRS runway. That is an immediate takeoff, folks. That's what it is.
Heathrow traffic Osprey 45 Charlie.
No hanging about. Just nice, quick, smooth, and accurate.
November 2. Heathrow traffic.
Fast acceleration, my goodness. Here we go. V1. Rotate. V2. Positive rate. Gear up. Heathrow traffic, Midland 5 Whiskey Tango's airborne, climbing 300. If he was using the correct runway, I would have waited, but he's not. They're lovely sounds, aren't they? Wow. Okay, we'll go autopilot 1 on. Lever climb. 1 click. Down we go. And we're heading off to acceleration altitude now. This is why you have to use the correct runway at Heathrow, because this is the correct departure.
Traffic on 27 left, how far are you?
And if we don't, we're going to go straight into the path of other aeroplanes. And you know, I'm using the correct departure, but if somebody now took off on 27 right, then we would potentially come into conflict.
Cabin crew, resume duties.
And that's not on me for using the correct one effectively, if that makes sense. So if you use the correct runway, the correct departures on VATSIM, and you do your announcements properly, you know you can't go wrong. If someone then makes a mistake around you or moans, if you follow the correct procedures and are using the correct runway that they're using in real life or would,
And traffic goes straight for runway 5 behind.
yeah, you've done your bit, if that makes sense.
Up and wait 27 left.
Okay,
Behind.
ground spoilers disarms. Heathrow traffic, Midland 5 Whiskey Tango is continuing climb out of the SID to flight level 300s, currently turning overhead Burnham, final call Heathrow. Easiest way with London Heathrow is to just check. Just check. FlightRadar24.com. Then you can't go wrong. As Doc is saying, make your mindset that SimBrief is always wrong unless it's proven not to be. So that you have to cross-check and recheck everything. It does mean that for the next 3 or 4 minutes, you add maybe 2 or 3 minutes to your flight planning in your aeroplane, but doesn't matter, because then you're flying more realistically, and therefore you'll get a bit more immersion out of the sim as well, making those small changes.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. You may now use
So, turning over Slough. G'day, Wesley, 30 months. Very nice. You backlight take that.
By the captain, at which point you will be allowed to move around the cabin. In a few minutes we will be starting the in-flight drinks service. If you could please ensure all aisles are clear and bags are placed.
Heathrow traffic goes straight 495, departing.
By the way, tomorrow, folks, we've got another giveaway. I know, crazy. We are flying to Ponta Delgada with the brand new iniBuilds Ponta Delgada scenery.
Once again to wish you a pleasant flight, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.
And we have 1 copy to give away, and we've got an awesome route. We're in the Fly-by-Wire A320NX tomorrow, the latest development branch. A nice way to compare this against that as well, in a way. Through 10. Standard as well, a bit late on the standard pressure. There we go. And yeah, we're flying Iberia from Madrid to Ponta Delgada. Then what we're going to do, as an extra bonus, is we're going to quickly refuel, and then we're going to head up to Horta as well, next little island across, and check out the new Simulations Horta Airport scenery. Bit of a triple whammy. Look at that, aeroplane flying over there, that's epic. So, super short, we've got to be thinking around you know, our arrival already. So, diving straight into the charts. We've already briefed this first little bit. So, Glasgow, inbound 30 DME, down to 3,000. No, 2,500 over the lock centre. Close guess. And then we're going to do this alternate procedure here. Only from within sector entry between QDM 337 clockwise to QDM 060, fly outbound on 026. Cat C and D to 007. So we'll be flying 007 to give us the wider turn, descending to 1900 at 8 DME, turning right to intercept the localizer. From here then we look at our minimums, and we're going to pop 316 into the Barrow. Runway 23 is expected. We'll use most of it because Bravo's a bit too close, isn't it, really, for us? Although 2291, we could maybe use firmer brakes, but I'm going to anticipate vacating here at Charlie. So zipping right on Charlie, round on Delta into the apron to park. We don't have any custom custom GSX profiles for Teesside yet, unfortunately. But hey ho. Then we'll turn around and we'll fly back. So with that in mind, we've got to go straight into the performance page, go through to the approach tab. There it is, and we're going to add that in like we mentioned. So 316. James Waddington, thank you, buddy. Joining us as a gold frequent flyer, appreciate the support. And all the rest is in there, look. So we've already got our ILS set up, ready to go. We've got the QNH for the local weather at EGNV. So I'll pop that into the live chat again as a METAR command, and we'll get the latest weather data, just a cross check, and that'll be the final one we do. So 300 at 6, very slight crosswind. 18 degrees Celsius, QNH 1014 now. Done. And we could use, if we want to, the arrival performance tab page in the tablet as well. So, I don't know, runway 23, let's just see how well this is. Landing weight is planned to be 59.5. Ta-da! Okay, medium auto brake, idle reverse, full flap. So we're going to flick that across, and then we want ADF 2 on, which is the NDB at Teesside. Cornelius, no, this is SLC, self-loading cargo, bottom of your screen there, buddy. Drinks service starting in 2 minutes. I don't think they've got enough time to do all these services, you know. Find out in a minute. We don't have any Wi-Fi on board today. Configured it for that specially. So lights, seatbelt signs, everything else is looking swish. And we're just going to continue our climb up now. We can do a little cabin announcement. PA, ladies and gentlemen, we're climbing to cruise.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit.
Well, actually, if we were to follow this properly, Adam, this is 2009. Or 2008. Could even be 1999.
We're making good progress towards our destination and expect to arrive on time as planned. You'll next hear from me just before we start our descent. I'll be sure to keep you updated if anything changes, but in the meantime,
keep smashing the like button, folks, as well if you're enjoying today's live stream. If you're new to the channel, warm welcome to you. Consider clicking the little subscribe button as well, and the notification bell. Mike says, always enjoy watching these, even if I don't always know what you're talking about. So it looks so realistic. Thanks for sharing this experience. You're more than welcome. Great to hear. If you're not sure about anything either, Mike and anyone else, just feel free to ask either myself or loads of other people who are very knowledgeable in the live chat. Will all try and help explain things differently, or help you understand bits if need be. Gamercark says, thanks again for your content. I joined the first Wings event on Sunday. IFR from Shannon to Glasgow, just about managed to deal with needing to use Unicom. Your videos really helped me get ready for that. That's really good to hear as well. And congratulations, joining the first Wings event on Sunday. That's a busy new person's event on the network, new pilots event. So it sounds like you've done quite well. Glad to hear that the videos were useful too. Claddybox says Fenix have already said they're working in an update for the flight model. And Pascal says it's he's noticed that it's very bumpy in the new version 2 in the air. Rez says, just a warning, when landing the V2 Fenix Block 1, the nose will shoot back up or slam down. Oh, bloody heck. That's not good. Ricky says, I believe A320s and 737s can only enter and vacate the runway at Teesside via Bravo, which always means a backtrack. Oh, now that's got me panicked.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes we will be serving food. If you could please ensure all aisles are clear and bags are placed in the overhead lockers, that would be much appreciated. Thank you.
On the charts, Charlie and Bravo look to be the same width. Alpha 1 and Delta don't, though. Doesn't actually help kind of explain it. There's certainly nothing in the charts for it. Well, that's got me worried now. Ashley, see you later. Look at that, already up to flight level 300 in just a mo. Helps being nice and light as well. How do you enter the giveaway? You've got to make sure you're subscribed, which you are if you can chat, and then you can answer one question correctly in the live chat to begin with a chance to win. The question is, what is the 3-letter IATA code for Teesside? I think down here somewhere we should have Pyreek Devco's lovely, lovely, lovely East Midlands Airport scenery. We'll look for it anyway. In fact, even better, Valanta. So you see how this crosses over and gets in the way of any departures on 27 right, which is why it's important at Heathrow to use the correct runways. Okay, EGNX is coming up on the left. Looks like another streamer is literally equidistant to us. Which actually is going to make it potentially a bit difficult for us to manage. Where is East Midlands? It's literally here somewhere. There she is! Look at that. Oh, and the power station. That is spectacular. Look at that. Pyreek Devco's East Midlands Airport scenery from a distance. You've got the power station, even Donington Park, look, in the distance there. Lovely. Cloudy box, I use Valanta. I think they all went to Chipotle, Christopher. Pooing for days. That is an absolute work of art, isn't it? There's the power station. Even that looks exquisite from up here, doesn't it? I think that is Filbert. And then we've got one in behind as well. So we're going to be number 2 to whoever that is. They're going to be number 3 to us, unless they really try and screw us. Unless it goes wrong. Failing that, on the charts, we might have to hold over the field. Which is going to be difficult because the LNAV doesn't support that from what we saw in the plan earlier. So, what's he got? Holds. Gasco. TDO5. So Gasco, and then I'm going to insert TD in here, next waypoint. 347.5. Oh, it doesn't like that, look. That's interesting. So we've got ILS-23 and we've got the approach via TD1 input, which is correct, so there's no stars. What it's not letting us to do at that point is add in TD. Does it let us now if we force it in? No. I have added TD1 as well, so we've literally just shown. Because the procedure, as I've said, isn't there. ILS-23, approach via TD1. We've already put that in. I'm going to recycle TD2 to TD1 and see what happens. No. Oh well, we might just have to manually fly a hold then, which is going to be, I'm going to draw this on my piece of paper, so TD 228 048. That's good, so it's going to be 1 minute, we'll call it. On the RadNav page, 1085 is our inbound ILS, so that's all good, that's set. And top of descent is imminent, in fact, so within 20 miles. So medium auto brake selected. Look at that contrails in front of us. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. Those poor toilets getting absolutely wrecked. Oh, this is a great story. That's just reminded me. I was having a look the other day at work at the Qantas flight from Perth that came in. This poor guy, my god. It's the toilet operator, you know where this is going. It flew in from Perth, 16 hours and 200 or so people or worth of poo and wee inside the lavatory tanks on board the aeroplane. But it parked up at Terminal 3. I had a little mooch around because I was curious to see what it looked like inside and look at the menu and things like that. So I was chatting away to the staff aboard the aeroplane, and then as I stepped off, I was going down the stairs. All of a sudden, I could see somebody legging it and shouting towards the tail of the aeroplane, and I thought, my goodness, what's happening? And then I could smell this rather unique human feces smell. And I was like, oh, that is potent, what the heck. And as I kind of had a little look, I could see, you know, the lavatory truck that goes under the plane, sucks it all out, and then they take it to a sewerage vent and pour it all in and get rid of it. What this guy had not done is he had sealed everything up correctly onto the kind of valves on the aeroplane, but he hadn't closed the valve on the tanker for when he empties it at his depot. So as he was emptying the system out of the aeroplane, it was then emptying out all over the apron poo, wee, everything, and it was just disgusting. I couldn't believe it. It was hideous. The poor guy. And then the guy that had legged it over, shouting at trying to get the guy's attention. He'd not realised, but he was stood in it, and then he was like gagging. The whole thing was comedy. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. It was so good.
Serve our hot food and snack menu. Please make sure your tray table is in the down position and clear any items from the aisle. Thank you. Hello, Captain.
There's around 10 minutes left to run before we start
Whoops.
descending, just in
More like
case
now.
you wanted to bring any remaining services forward.
No problem.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope you're enjoying the flight so far. Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. As you've probably noticed, we've started our descent. Depending on the destination air traffic, we should be landing in around 20 minutes. In the meantime, I will be instructing the cabin crew.
Who knows Teesside very well? Are we going to require a backtrack?
Sign will be illuminated, and you'll need to stay seated until after landing. On that note, if you need to use a toilet, then you should try to visit one now, as they will be closed during the approach. You'll next hear from me after landing, so I will wish you a very good afternoon once again, and I'll speak to you in a short while.
We're going to set it for holds at 3. Minimum hold altitude is 2,500. I think the crew are going to struggle with this. Ooh, that's a nasty change of wind. Serving drinks. Hold on, the food service hasn't even started. Tim says no, Matthew says yes. Brilliant. What? Oh dear. I know. If in doubt. Like I said earlier, we're looking at flight radar. Departure's 27 left, folks, not 27 right. Teesside. EGNV. Clue on the screen at the moment. Whoops, let's pretend it's not. Arrivals. What did it today? Tuesday the 15th. Landed. Flight info. Oh yes, look at that. Backtrack via Bravo. So he turned there and then backtracked. Ah, interesting. Not sure, David, because I find it odd because he spent. Didn't he say? I mean, it's rather great for him, isn't it? But across the pond one day, there was a bit of uproar, wasn't there? Because people said if you were flying across the pond in MSFS, then you're a fool. That was the quote. Not good. I think we're a bit too high here. Looks like I didn't check it. Didn't check the data well enough, it seems. Okay, we're on track though for 3,000 there over the runway, so that's pretty nice. We have to account for deceleration as well, but we're descending at 270, so that's not too bad. And all of a sudden, all my TCAS has disappeared. I'm not entering the hold. I think it will be in Vegas, Cloudy Box. Steve, sorry, hello. That's the ICAO code, not the IATA code. Can't see any. I'm wondering if I'm still on VATSIM. I hope I am. Oh no, it's the person that's in front of us has now disappeared off it. Jolly good. Right. In Glasgow then. David says I'm not on VATSpy. I'm on SimAware or map.vatsim.net. Make me panic. Teesside traffic, Midland 5 Whiskey Tango, Airbus A320 with a QNH of 1014. Currently flight level 180, descending 3000 for the alternate procedure ILS DME approach, runway 23. We'll report over the field. Teesside traffic. London South. Has this scenery been released yet? Ricky's asking. It has, yes. That was a welcome. Thanks to your tutorials, I was able to contact my PTT fare and fly in the First Wings event on Sunday. Congratulations. Many thanks for all you do for the community. You're more than welcome. I'm glad you find it useful. Really appreciate that. Serving food. Jesus. They're going to have enough time to clear it all away. I'm definitely getting slated on my score in self-loaded cargo today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned the seatbelt signs on. Please take your seats.
This reminds me of when I used to operate the flights into Manchester Airport as well. Because we would take off, and within a minute of takeoff, about 2,000 feet roughly, 3,000 feet, we were all unclipped and we were pushing the trolleys up the aisle during the climb, really steep climb, to begin serving, and it was literally throwing everything else, you know, all the food out, boom, 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 and then gathering in the waste, locking it all up, boom, landing, and every time we would be getting secure in our seats as the wheels are coming down. It was such a rush. So busy those flights, my goodness. Then we're gonna have to go to we're gonna have to go to heading mode here. Actually, track FPA. We want to overfly the airfield. And there it is, our first look at Fly X Simulations Teesside. Speed's coming down, 250 knots.
Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
We'll go for 2.5. We'll keep our speed up because the backtrack required. I don't want to stuff Bilbert up behind, so I'm going to work to vacate as quick as I can. What have we got? So 12. Darren in the Lake District, welcome buddy. That's all good. Still decelerating using speed brake or grand spoilers.
As we make our way towards the airport, please make sure you are seated with your belts fastened and with your trays in the
Get rid of that music. What have we got? So 60 ME from the lock centre.
Turn off all electronic devices until after landing. Thank you, and we apologise once again for any inconvenience.
EGMB 23.
Teesside traffic, Ryanair 3581 overhead Glasgow.
6.
We will be proceeding for a right-hand downwind for the ILS runway 28.
So this alternate procedure, as per the charts, is this. So arrival overhead, the lock centre not below MSA, only from within sector entry between QDM 337 clockwise to QDM 060. Fly outbound 007 degrees, category C aircraft, descending to 1,900 feet and at 8 DME, ITD, turn right to intercept the lock. So we're also going to go fix ITD 12 miles and it's 8 DME, so a second fix radius. Warnings for the flight controls, spoilers still out. There's the field. We're going to be pretty much 2.5 right over the field. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll do 3-6. Throw through 10. SLC's going to slate us for that as well. Lots to do on these short flights for one pilot. Right, spoilers armed. How are the crew doing? Really rushing around to get the cabin secure for landing. I'm not going to pester them. So firing precisely to the NDB at the minute, the lock centre. Company message, I'm ignoring that one. So auto brake medium, lights and signs set as required, ground spoilers armed. QNH 1014 now set, and the perf page. Activate approach. We're going to go back to manage speed, so it will reduce down to green dots, but we're with our flat deployment speeds now anyway.
Traffic Osprey
PA system,
inbound Tango Delta VOR.
seats for landing.
We'll enter the hold at 3,000 feet for a couple of laps, and we'll call when outbound for the procedure. QFA traffic. So out we go, we've got 5 miles, so radius is in at the lowest. Just going to do a slight correction here to 050. Ah, thanks Christopher. My goodness. That's when you know I'm busy. I'm trying to do so much. And there's so little time. Okay, so totally over the airfield now. Can't see anything. It's underneath us here somewhere. There's a little glimpse of it. Perhaps on the other side we can see a bit. Well, we can if we go through the plane. We can't, but there's a rather cool shadow. Three, 5, 1 to go. So this procedure here is incorrect on the nav data, but it is what it is. I'm going to go to flaps 1 now because I actually want to command speed 180 for this. 2.5, just prior to TD, levelling off.
Ryanair 3 Alpha, push and start.
2,500.
Teesside traffic, Midland 5 Whiskey Tangos, over Tango Delta, turning outbound 007 track for the alternate procedure ILS 23, and will report establishing Teesside traffic. Final check, lights, signs, and we've got cabin secure, I think.
Teesside traffic, Ryanair 3 Alpha, push and start, standing tick.
LS mode active, counting up to 8, which is this second line here. That's the 8 DME. From there, oops, we need to go down to 19. From there, we're going to be stepping down further. Staying level at 19, but then turning round back on ourselves to commence our approach. And it's 007, not 026, because we're a Category C or D aircraft. If we were Category B like the ATR, then it would be fine. We wouldn't need this 007. We'd use 026 instead. So 19 by 8, that's what we want. Sending to 1900, then at 8 DME, turning right to intercept the localizer. So 8 DME, round we go. Gonna do it in phases. Flap 2. That's it, Rab. Yeah, perfect. Perfect one there. You'll be in the ATR as you said. 026, but 007's fine. You just have a much smoother turn radius with it. That's all. Round we go. Still turning. 1900. 5 miles. We want wings level. 23. So round to 200 for the 30-degree intercept. What's the inbound course?
Teesside traffic Ryanair 3581 is downwind, right downwind for runway 23. We'll extend out as necessary, with a view to making a roughly 10-mile final for the ILS runway 28.
Approach mode arms, 1900, speed 160. That's Filbert downwind. Wings level. 160. Gear down. There's the runway. Oh, Ricky, epic. There you go. If you look up, flash me lights at you. Okay, locks active for flap 3. 7 miles. At Teesside traffic, Midland 5 Whiskey Tango's established ILS 23, 6 miles. Let's go full flap now. And we'll bring it down to final approach speeds. Okay. Ready. Auto brake medium, glide slopes about to go alive. Missed approach. It's going to be climb straight ahead to 1000, whichever is later, 1000 feet or 3 DME ITD. Then turn right to lock centre, hold 2500. Missed approach, altitude set. Okay, land. It was a real BMI flight, yes. Landing memos, no blue.
Teesside traffic Ryanair 3581, descending through 2,300 feet, turning right base for a 10-mile final, runway 23.
Okay, so we're going to try and backtrack. We've got to backtrack on Bravo, don't we? I think Filbert's going to have to go around.
Teesside traffic Ryanair 34 Alpha, taxi to the main 05.
So QNH set 4 miles now, and everything else set, ready to go. I think we can hand fly the rest in, don't you? My plane. Beep, beep, beep. Crosswind at 10 knots, right to left. Track FPA is on. Fair bit of work to do here. Winds are now kind of switching a little bit. They've dropped and veered and backed a little bit as well, so it's becoming a little choppy for us, but the winds aren't progressing beyond sort of 10 knots. We're looking at 5 to 8 knot crosswind variable, but that's fine. We can handle that. Just means a bit of correction through the approach.
Above.
Check.
Minimum.
Continue.
100.
Looking ahead.
Light slow.
40. 30. 20, retard.
Teesside traffic Ryanair 3581, localised to establish
5.
10 mile final, runway 28.
Okay, nose is down. That was a bit of a float. It felt very rocky and a bit unstable on approach then. As we passed over the trees and the thresholds, I don't know if you guys noticed that as well, it got very messy, quite turbulent.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at our destination. The local time is 1:15 p.m. It's a nice 19 degrees Celsius outside, that's 66
Midland, 5 Whiskey Tangos, backtrack 23 to exit Bravo Teesside.
On board with you, and please use caution when opening the overhead bins, as heavy articles may have shifted around during the flight.
Doing this a bit quicker than I otherwise would do, because I'm conscious.
All other passengers have deplated.
Hilbert
One of our
is
crew
on
members
final.
will then be pleased to assist you. Please remain seated
Ooh,
until the
come on,
aircraft
Luke,
reaches
tiller,
the
tiller.
gate, and we'll get you offloaded as soon as possible. Thanks very much.
Okay, so 297 for the touchdown there. Bit of a float, but within the touchdown zone nicely. Flaps up. Right, ground spoilers can go away. And we'll vacate left. There we go. Let's get rid of that. All stands are free. Teesside traffic, Midland 5 Whiskey Tango, runway vacated.
Lovely.
I tried.
Small world, isn't it? Teesside traffic Ryanair 2581, short final, runway 20. Correction 24.
Cabin crew, please disarm doors.
423.
What have we got here for stands then, folks? Chuffy neck. 5, 4, 2? 5. Lovely. Oh, British Midland. That's an option. No way. Proper old school.
Once that happens, we will start deboarding and you'll be able to leave the aircraft. Thank you.
And gently in. So that's all good. Let's fire up the APU. Nose taxi lights are off. And in we go. Again, as we said, there's no GSX profile for this, sadly, so just having to kind of go from there. The marshaller is rather handily inside the building. We'll have to see what happens. A320 mark is there anyway.
45 Papa Charlie established ILS.
I think we're going uphill.
10 mile final, runway 23, speed Teesside traffic.
Right. Let's marshal ourselves in. You can do it.
Traffic of 495 leaving the hold, and we'll extend the downwind for about 5 miles for expression, and we'll call
Too firm in the old brake roonies.
Traffic.
Brakes set. Waving like mad. Okay, engine 2 and 1. Jolly good.
Traffic, East Flight 72 Juliet, stand number 4, push and start nose to the right.
Arrived, commence deboarding. Yes, we do want to do that. Parked a bit too far apparently. Shocks GPU automatic. We'll pop some. Oh, actually, no, we don't want forward stairs because we have GSX, don't we? So we'll request deboarding. And then, because of self-loading cargo, we'll release the crew. And I think that should mean... Oh my goodness. I'm calling them all. Ground crew, intercom, the lot. I'm so bad at this. Okay, that's the door open. Cabin and cargo.
Traffic Osprey 4 and 5, current base for runway 23.
Start deboarding once you've shut the engines down.
I have.
It should just be a few more minutes.
Teesside traffic Ryanair 3581, backtracking 23 to Bravo.
Crikey.
Passengers bus is coming.
Okay, so this is where a GSX profile would be perfect for this, because in reality they would walk off the aeroplane straight in over that little zebra crossing into the aircraft. Ah, that's why. Beacon, beacon, beacon. Naughty Luke. There we are. Anyway, welcome to Teesside, ladies and gentlemen. Already though, RTX 4090. I can see a couple of things that are left a bit to desire, I guess. I mean, that, bearing in mind that's a static. If it's going to be on the apron where an aeroplane is going to park, let's make it high quality, shall we? I don't know, that's just my 2 cents there with that. Looking through the windows though, it looks like we've got an arrivals area, a few other bits. Hey, hey. Let's explore. So Teesside started its life as an RAF station many years ago, and has since then been converted into passenger operations. It's got a couple of cargo areas as well. So FedEx here, this hangar that we're moving around at the minute, is full bit vacates. Really nice rusty structure there. The textures there look really good. That rusty metal effect, really nice. My Symlink hasn't loaded up for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, back to it. And that decal there is really nice, which is then odd, isn't it? Because that's not something you're necessarily going to see, yet the vehicle statics that we saw a moment ago were pretty low quality. A bit kind of contradictory. FedEx hangar looks really nice. We'll keep venturing down to the FBO. And don't forget, folks, we have got another sector. We're going to be flying back to Heathrow.
Using two final approach speeds for
there's the tower. No interior though, which does disappoint me a little bit, especially because it's a small airport. I feel like that's something that they could have done as a little bit of an added detail there. But it is what it is. We don't really check too much. Beacon isn't still on.
Go ahead.
Beacon's off. Someone else's beacon, I think. Willie, hello. Yeah, Teesside. Hope you're okay. Welcome. Hey, Andrew, welcome on board. Thanks for joining us today. And here we are, the Draken Jets.
Teesside traffic, Osprey 45 Papa Charlie, vacated 23.
Although, do they all say Golf FRAT? They do. Small detail, I guess. Ooh, the Chuffineck is taking off there. On that runway. Flipping heck. Yeah, it's better frames. You know, non-interiors. But this is a very small airport, so it's something that they could do and optimise nicely, to be fair. This, I think, is the flying school. From memory, this is a new update as well, actually, a kind of a fresh update, because they forgot the General Aviation Flying School area, and I think it's this. Not sure, there might be a sign the other side of it. So I did update this morning, fresh. We'll have a wee look.
Teesside traffic, Golf Hotel Mike, taxiway 23 via Alpha, Teesside.
The Air Cargo Centre. Jeez, look at that. Maybe it's that blurry in real life. There we are, yes, the skydiving flight training centre, there we go.
Ryanair 76 Delta Mike, taxiing runway 23 via Alpha, Teesside traffic.
Having nice textures on some of the decals are easy wins, so I don't understand why they don't just kind of make them nice, crisp and sharp. What else have we got here around this section?
495, short final 4 miles.
Little bit of work around the edges there. Nothing kind of really to go and see. A little dirt heap off in the distance over there. We'll have a look at that over there. Oh, look at that. Definitely going over there now. B1AV. Easy decision. Hyrie Devco East Midlands Airport. A lot of snazzy runway textures. The closed runway there. And there's the crosswind. Goku's on short final, isn't he? 4 miles. So I'm looking for him. Not sure where he is though. So this part of the layout of the airport
2 miles runway
kind of goes back to its history as an Air Force base, because it would have everybody staged, all the various aircraft staged on all these different little pods. So if one in World War II was to be bombed, you don't have all the aircraft in one location. The idea there being that you would save a couple. You might lose a few, but then you would save the rest because they are all spaced around the airfield. I love how we've got major streams coming in, and we've got Osprey representing. VATSIM's snazziest virtual airline livery. They are dispersal points, David says. Flybois A320X, rendering the AI model, it doesn't work particularly well with replicating what his aircraft configuration is. But that looks to have been a beautiful touchdown.
Teesside traffic, Golf Hotel Mark, line up 23, Teesside.
Really nice. Round we go. Oh, someone flying overhead, drawing across the sky. Hey, let's look at this. What have we got here? There was one thing that really stood out to me beyond the Jolly Green Giant.
Traffic,
that has me a little excited for this.
Runway 23.
And it's not this little old jet here. Not sure what that's meant to be actually. But no, it's this. Proper old school. Left to rot, very sad. Like a fuel tanker next to it, as if it's going and flying anywhere. Love it. Yeah, look at that. I do like that weathered effect. And what is that in real life? Just, I mean, it's obviously an aircraft dumping ground. Like, kind of just left to rot. Real shame. No, that's not a Jaguar. What's this? Trident? Or L1011? Something like that. Can't remember now. Very old jet anyway. Retro. We got an Osprey ATR about to depart. A Mirage F1 Nighthawk. There we go. That's yeah, it does sound like what it's meant to be there. Trident for the sim would be great, wouldn't it? The AC 111. Oh, it could be. Bernie, are you in Discord, buddy? Because the flight plans are always put in the live stream section of our Discord server. If not, give me a few minutes, because I haven't even set up the route ourselves, actually.
Traffic, Golf Hotel Mark, taking off 23 to the west, Teesside.
Teesside traffic, Osprey 495, it is runway 23.
It's such a tiny little regional airport, and I think today, across 3 different streamers, I think we've become the busiest airport, the busiest Teesside has ever been, perhaps. ATR's heading out. And you guys get to see it. A bit of a backdrop there of Teesside as it departs.
Passengers, the boarding starting. Teesside traffic, Ryanair 6 Delta Mike. We're going to line up runway 23, backtracking.
What do we got over here then? So landing on this side of the runway, we have, very similar to Bristol actually, we have to consider the height. And what I mean by that, it'd be easy to show when we get there, but effectively when you're landing on a runway that has an uphill slope before it, the terrain comes to meet you as you're descending down towards it, it can trick the eye into thinking that actually you're lower than you are. So we've got this kind of little hill, not as prominent as Bristol. You can see the approach lights in there as well. Although that's interesting / frustrating, because the developer, I suppose it's a Microsoft Flight Simulator thing, isn't it? They don't really have a choice. You can see where they're meant to go, and then when they've actually been placed. But I don't think the developer can really do much about that. You can see what I mean about the uphill element here. So that's what it looks like, completely level with the runway as the terrain meets us. But if we go to 2 red 2 white on the Pappies, you can kind of see the gradient of the airport coming up towards the horizon, the hill, as we are descending down towards it. So it makes it look like we're lower than we are. But yeah, there should be exclusion zones for trees there as well. It's a bit average, this scenery, I have to say. I don't know, what do you guys think? There are elements of it that we've seen that are quite nice. Certainly some of the textures here, the farmland and things, freshly mown, look really nice. The textures of the runway with the concrete slabbing are really nice as well. But some of the building textures and the elements around the runway leave a bit to be desired. Fuel farm? It's a fairly average bit of scenery, isn't it? I'm not sure how much it is meant to cost. I'm sure someone will find out.
76 Delta Mike departing runway 23, Teesside traffic.
We've got a caravan site over here, is it? Yes, it is. What? Caravan site in a car park? Right. Stand by.
Teesside traffic, East Flight 7 to Juliet, Fire Bravo, backtracking lining up runway 23.
That's that bit. Oh yeah, look. There's the caravans. That's cool. I do like. That's pretty neat. Fair play. Can't really see.
Teesside traffic, Ryanair 76 Delta Mike. Passing 2,500, climbing 6,000. Teesside traffic.
Nice. They've replicated that in real life too. Although there is a barrier. It's 2 separate car parks because there is a caravan site kind of here. There it is. Saw that on the map a moment ago. That's kind of the main bit, caravan cells area. Right, let's look at the terminal. Oh, thought that caravan was rocking there. Tees Valley, entrance to the terminal. Really nice textures on this side of the airport, isn't it? Look at that. That's really, really nice. In fact, that looks like a very realistic banner, kind of stretched over a frame there. $11.99. Yeah, that's fairly nice frontage, although rather basic, I guess, in a way. Puddles of what? GSX. Not now. Every time. Let's have a look at the time.
Teesside traffic, Nordic 6, Yankee Hotel, push and start stand 1, facing west.
Okay, so all the lights are on. So I feel like they've missed a trick there, because surely the Teesside Airport logo should be illuminated. Those of you who live local to this, do let us know what you think. Apron looks really nice, well lit, bright. So does the interior. We've got to go and venture through that too. That looks quite nice too. Yeah, the water puddles on the roof look quite cool. Glad you noticed that, Willie. Good spot. Kind of see it reflecting in the moonlight there as well. Ah, FlyX, the developer. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, the puddles look really good on the roof there. Flat roofs, fair bit of standing water. Could take a few days to dry out. Likes his first MSFS airport. Well, congratulations. We've got a little lounge area here.
Teesside traffic, Jersey 2 Mike Juliet, landing up runway.
Nice to see the screens actually very crisp and clear there too. So it's a bit of a mixed bag because the screens there are incredibly clear. Signs there are very clear. But then when we actually look at, sorry about the drone camera bit here folks, we actually look at the Teesside Airport logo, which is right in front, smack bang in front of our aeroplane. And then the static vehicles which are right outside our steps to the aeroplane kind of lets it down a little bit. When you've got a really nice backdrop of a beautiful, fairly historical hangar from the kind of military era of aviation, I guess, as well. So they've got hangars like that, RAF stations across the country. So I assume it's come from that era. Really nice bit of work, and then kind of a couple of blurry items that I don't think need to be there. They could have put a bit more detail into that. Fire exit doors look really good. Little decals on them as well. Although they're not on this side. £11.99, Andrew. Yeah, it's still pretty good, but certainly for the price. The interior is really nicely done. And the carpet textures there, look at that. What have we got here? A little news article. See if we can read it. Yeah, look at that. USA presidential election prediction. Man cycles into sea. There's a lot of history with Teesside. There's a couple of different news articles. Look, I feel like we could have a bit of fun reading through some of these. Dock causes 1.5 million in damage. Love it. Got any flights to Heathrow coming up? No, except for ours. Current services, by the way, operated here. Ryanair here being one of them. Logan Air is another operator. Oh, what else was there? Forgot. There's a couple actually. There's a few. You can find them on Flight Radar. Oops. There's some magazines.
Teesside traffic, Jersey 2 Mike Juliet, taking off runway 23.
Juliana Silver. Nice little touches. Tui. Yeah, good stuff. That's your dog Emily. FlyX. That's epic. Lovely dog. Love how you put that into the scenery. That's a nice touch. So yeah. I mean the apron, so basically to summarise, the apron textures look really, really nice, I think. Really a bit of good work there. Same with the runway as well, although on the other side of the runway, the approach lights could be a bit neater, and those trees need an exclusion zone as well. Off goes the Flybe. Beautiful sight. Old school. Some of the lighting on the other side of the airport could be improved. I think the Durham Tees sign should be illuminated, I think, but I'd have to research that because I don't 100% know. And some of those textures around the terminal, like that Teesside International Airport sign, could be a bit bolder and a bit crisper, I think. But otherwise, for $11.99, it's an average scenery, but I think it's actually quite nice for what it offers with its price point as well. What do you guys think? Let us know in the live chats. And as you share your thoughts, we need to get ready for Delta Sierra to head back to Heathrow. So, and from here though, the Teesside Airport's sign looks really crisp, doesn't it? Bizarre. But then up close in the aeroplane, it already looks blurry from the cockpit, as does those. I mean, they're not good. But the textures on the terminal building, the tiling of things, really, really nice. Very nice indeed. So like I said, a mixed bag. More positive than negative though. Very, very nice. And what have we got here? So, second sector back to Heathrow. Just going to spend a few minutes sorting out New Sky. And I'll show you, if I do it on this screen for you guys, I'll show you how I sort this all out. I need to close the flight actually and see what score we got. There we go, 9.92. I'll take it. So out and about, and then we can see that procedural turn that we flew. That alternate procedure for the approach over Middlesbrough. Average touchdown. To be honest, it kind of ran away from me towards the end. And it felt a little unstable and a bit overly twitchy. So that might be my control sensitivities. Having said that. EGLL. $50 minutes. 91 passengers. Crikey. Then we press the clipboard, generate OFP. We get this little pop-up here that zips up to show us that it's generating it via SimBrief, but within the New Sky client. And then we press the little I button there to review OFP. And from that we can actually see our SimBrief OFP inside New Sky. Someone was asking me about this in the Discord earlier on, which is why we're covering this today. If you're not sure what New Sky is, this is our virtual airline client that we use at Osprey Airways, our channel's virtual airline. So we're then going to head to the edit button. Within it, it loads up SimBrief again inside New Sky. And we're going to just tweak a few bits here. So if you're flying Osprey, obviously the airline and the flight number would match that of the service that you're using, or your personal call sign if you have one. But for the purpose of today's live stream, we're flying British Midland, and therefore I'm going to change the call sign and the flight number. Cost index manually set, I'm going to set 15. And the cruise, flight level 310. Our profile is selected, fuel factor selected, units in kilograms as per our preference. Runway 23 for departure and arrivals on 27 right, although we might have to zip that and change it on the fly on the arrival into 27 left if we get near to 3 o'clock for the runway switch at Heathrow. 91 passengers and freight again, they're imported from New Sky, as is the zero fuel weight. We're just going to pop in our actual flight path route that we've generated on our Discord server. Bit of a different route this actually. We're going to be curving round towards Manchester, over Manchester, heading then over Birmingham Airport, between Birmingham and Coventry, and down into London Heathrow. So we then generate it via the button here. Harry, no you don't. Ooh, that's a bit of a mess. What's happened there to the flight number? Chuffing heck. Didn't notice that. That abandoned plane at Teesside is a Trident. Thanks folks. Simon and Brian and everyone else who's said that. Good to know. There we go, that's a bit neither, isn't it? BMA 2 Tango Whiskey. So I'm going to flick me page. And then we press Fetch Modified. And that's how you tweak and generate and pull the new route from SimBrief into New Sky. And there it is. Then we can hit the VATSIM button. And it will allow us to then pre-file for VATSIM. Job done. Close. So we're going to disconnect from VATSIM and we're going to log back in again to Tango Whiskey. Fetch from server, done. Self-loading cargo now needs to be set up. So, view flight report, we'll have a look. Wow. I got a D+. Firm landing, they can bugger off. Self-loading cargo scoring system is pretty crap. Firm landing experienced 116 foot per minute, 1.2 G. 1.2 G is pretty much, it's a little firm, but it's pretty much bang on bordering average to perfect. And 116 foot per minute certainly is no issue there. But to deduct 0 out of 100, I'm going to email the developer because that's crap. APU startup not communicated, that's not requested. Engine startup not communicated, whatever. Cabin crew did not have enough time to secure the cabin before takeoff as well. Well, that did it automatically. I'll take that. Cabin for arrival announcement not made in a timely manner. Well, it kind of was. Experiences of these short flights are exactly that. Start new flight. Airliner. Part of me is tempted not to use self-loading cargo for this next one. 2 Tango Whiskey. In-flight services. So I'm going to disable that. We're just going to have drinks. We set it to 10 minutes after takeoff. That's more akin to the Manchester service that we had at British Airways.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. How are you?
Hi there, I'm fine, thanks. Ground to Cockpit.
Still got steps.
Great. We're getting ready for takeoff. If you need anything else, just give me a call and
Take
I'll
off.
answer as quickly as I can. We're a little busy right now, though.
Thank you. Go ahead.
No problem.
Hi, Captain. Microphone check, please.
EGNB to EGLL.
Okay, Captain.
Ground services. That's good. Mass balance. Let's load.
We're ready to start loading.
We'll do
Roger.
fast load. Unload. Import flight from SimBrief. $13.10. To be fair, we can just start loading manually like that. Real time for now. 14 minutes.
Ground to Cockpit. Go ahead.
Boarding requested. Passengers bus is coming.
Hi there. Just to let you know that we've started fueling the aircraft. We'll let you know as soon as it's completed.
So that's important. We've got to make sure the seatbelt signs are off. So we're going to go ATSU. AOC, flight init request,
Hello.
init data
Captain.
request. I'm going to load the new route.
So I've spoken to security and they've started checking in, but there's around another 10 minutes to go before we expect to be seeing any passengers.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Passengers boarding starting.
In they come. So I'm just reconfiguring things like Volanta, Navigraph, New Sky, getting all that ready for our next sector. There are no departures out of here, out of Teesside. So with that, what we do is, let me go, init request, we'll load the flight plan in first via SimBrief. We're just going to go to our first fix. VMA 2 Tango Whiskey. Good morning, Andrew. Luke, there are that many places, nice places and new places you could fly a different route and airport every day for a year. Yeah, and the rest, absolutely. I really enjoy your channel because of the variety of airports and aircraft. Nice to hear, Andrew. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Flight level 310 for the cruise. And we'll load the winds. Willie says, difficult. When angry, write a stern letter. I'm one of those, I kind of want to fight against this whole nonsense in the flight sim community about butter. Accurate, more realistic landings are much better. Much better. Performance page we can't really do just yet, but init A, we'll do the init page, init B shortly. So, here's the discontinuity and that route that we were talking about, and for that, we load up the charts.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead.
Hello Jace, Massive Simulations, welcome buddy. Just drinks today buddy for the menu. Right, departures. Out of Teesside.
Fueling has been completed.
10-3 for the page. So outbound again via Glasgow. Therefore we know out of runway 23 we're just going to fly in a straight line to Glasgow, climbing up. From there we can see on our MCVU our second waypoint is Ribble. And that's on the Papa 16 airway, and there it is. So 224 degrees out of Glasgow, 17 miles on the Papa 16 airway to Ribble, and that's it. So we're basically flying out of Teesside in a straight line for almost 40-50 miles. Then we're going to turn southbound to Croft, routing to the west of Manchester just about, into Newgrat for the Newgrat 1 hotel arrival into London Heathrow.
Round to cockpit.
Super quick. Super quick.
Go ahead.
At Tobid, flight level 200, passing south of Coventry. We'll have gone beyond Birmingham at that point.
Just a quick update to let you know
And then kind of regular arrivals into Heathrow. So Soppit, flight level 150, Bovingdon at 7,000 feet. And then, because it's a short flight, get your arrival charts ready. For Heathrow, we always go into the approach tab. Sorry, the star tab for the arrivals. And then pick your transition. So Bovingdon, there it is. We want to then pin the initial approach chart from Bovington, like so. Expecting the ILS 27 left or right. We know we're going to leave Bovingdon heading 127 degrees. And then routing over central London, about 3,000 to 4,000 feet. And then turning right to establish on the localizer for either ILS 27 right is what we've planned for, or if it's just after 3, ILS 27 left for that runway change. We know if it is 27 right for arrivals, we've got the maintenance hangars and therefore a bit of turbulence on short final, and flat 3 config is favoured for high intensity runway operations at Heathrow Airport as well. So flap 3, config 3 for the approach, and we'll vacate around Alpha 9 or even Alpha 10 Echo. And then we'll head back towards Pier 6, Terminal 3. So down Echo, right all the way down to Bravo, left on Bravo to the pier. Unless people have got a different preference for where to park, we could go into the Golf taxiway, the cul-de-sac there, or we could use hotel. I'm open to ideas. But we could always go back to where we left, the same stand that we started from. Gav, it depends where you are in the country, buddy, or where you are in the world. But if you're in the United Kingdom, then I used PC Specialist. They've been very good for me. You've also got Overclockers as well, who I purchased my original rig from. Let's get rid of that discontinuity. We don't need it. Yeah, you can see we just got a big old straight line there. That works. Just going to set the FCU. I'll set 6 for now to transition, and we'll go from there. And then we want to already, because we've got Newgra there, look how short this flight is, folks. Ribble, Croft, Newgra. So we have to then go into the arrivals for these short services and configure for the arrival into Heathrow. ILS 27 right this time, Newgra 1 hotel as we planned and discussed a minute ago. Did somebody want the... Somebody mentioned it earlier, didn't they? EGNV.
I'll put the flight plan route in the live chat for you guys. There you go. I think it was Bernie asking for that actually. Add a screenshot is grayed out. How can I activate it? Bernie's asking. So you just want to go to your settings, the cog in Volanta. Go down to screenshots, and you have this option here. Volanta on, screenshots, and you want to add your folder that your bits saved to, basically.
Yes, you can start boarding.
No worries. I'll get the rest of the crew organized, and we'll make a start in a couple of minutes once the passengers start arriving from the terminal. All stations were about to start boarding.
We'll reopen that door, shall we? Maybe the second door as well. That will help speed up boarding. Don't know why that closed. Right, so yeah, ILS 27 right, Nugra 1 Hotel, and we now need to set an approach via. And it's going to be Bovingdon, as we discussed. Yeah, it might be 27 left by the time we arrive, Rab, to be fair. But we'll see, we'll play it by ear. We'll just have to step across if need be. To be honest, when you look at the charts, it doesn't really matter too much because we are approaching very close. Bovingdon, either runway it's the same, heading all the way out to 19 DME max 180 knots, and then vectoring over central London to establish for one or the other. So depending on which one it is when we get there, that's the one that we will configure for. But for now we'll set up for 27 right. If we need to, we'll just change it to 27 left. We need to go to the Fenix tab here, mass balance. Apparently we're still loading. Barely any cargo on board, so we'll probably make a loss on New Sky for this. There's the giveaway question once more in the live chats. Echo Golf November Victor for the METAR as well. So the ICAO code for Teesside is Echo Golf November Victor, but what is the 3-letter IATA airport code for the airport? There's the new METAR. So the weather is starting to get a bit more poop. See the TCU? That's a big consideration. I was going to say, well, it's a concern as well, actually. You could say it's a concern too, because it is. It's a towering cumulonimbus cloud. Where are we? So 120, so therefore 1,000 above, 120. And then we want our performance, departure performance, which we can plan using our preliminary load sheet. Wind's still 300 at 7 but variable 270 to 330, so runway 23 is still in use and it's currently still dry. We'll do sync load sheet via for prelim load sheet plus 1 ton. Packs on. To be fair, it might be flaps 2 for this. No, it's happy. 120, 129, let's write this down. 120, 129, 129. 120 for the acceleration altitudes. Flaps 1 down 0.3. And 68 for the flex. So we'll pop that in now. So our committed speed 120, 129 for rotate, and V2 129 as well. No takeoff shift, we're using full length with that. Flaps 1 plus F down, 0.3 for the trimmable horizontal stabilizer, and that flex of 68. Because it's a short flight as well, we also need the Heathrow METAR, because we've got so much to do during the flight. We actually want to kind of do most of it on the ground before we go anywhere.
Loading has been completed. We're sending the load sheet up to you now. We're waiting for you to close up. Once the beacon light is switched on, we'll contact you to begin pushback.
240 at 8.
Roger. Hello.
Hi, Captain.
QNH 1016.
Okay, we've received the load sheet from ground. There's the
And the
passenger
temperature
count,
22.
crew count and the total sold
So
count.
everything's set there except for Barrow, but we know
Thanks
we're
a
going
lot.
to do config
My
flat
pleasure.
3 for landing.
Okay.
So I'm going to select
Call
that
me when you're
now.
ready to go and we'll get moving.
No problem.
And we need our 0 fuel weights. So
Ladies and
50.53
gentlemen, welcome aboard. While you're being seated, please remember that all
And
mobile telephones and other
28.5.
portable electronic devices, such as CD players and laptop computers, must be turned off and stowed for departure.
10 minutes to push.
Thank you.
0 fuel weight 50.5 / 28.5. Block fuel for our second leg today. 5015 kilos.
Teesside traffic, Osprey 495, taxiing to the active.
5.0. That'll do. So, init A, init B, birth page, cost index of 15, and our landing approach page except for minimums. All our route is cross-checked except for Nugra, but we're just having a look at that now. Everything's set as required, and we've got no discontinuities there, or no double Nugras either. And we're on 1228, transponder set 2000.
Teesside traffic.
Hello.
Hi there, Captain. All of the passengers are now on board.
Great. I'll make the call to remove the jetway and you can close the doors.
Flight directors can go on.
No problem.
Boarding complete. 51,570 actually, 28.7. Thought it had all finished, but it was the 50.
Teesside traffic,
51.6. Let's just change that actually.
Tracking 05.
So performance init B, isn't it? 51.6 / 28.7. There we go. We've got to make sure that's accurate. And with that, we can do a quick check of our performance to make sure that nothing has changed with the final load sheet today. It's so dark on this plane. Really? I'll rerun that. Wow. That's oh no. 118 for V1 now. So that's so light, isn't it? But now the triple horizontal stabilizer has changed, look, to up 0.2. So it's important we get that set correctly. 1 up 0.2. 118. The committed speed. Happy days. QNH 1014. Where are we? APU's on. Seatbelt signs are on. Beacon lights.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead.
14:15, so a little ahead of schedule here actually. That's good.
Call me when you require pushback. We're all set, so feel free to get connected and start when ready. Roger. Ground tow is connecting. Cabin crew, please set doors to automatic. Roger. Good afternoon from the cockpit, this is your captain speaking. I'd like to welcome you on board this afternoon's flight. I hope you're all well. We're currently preparing for departure up here in the cockpit and thought we'd say hello while we finish entering the data into the flight computers. We hope to depart very shortly. We're not
It's almost a bit too much to do with the self-loading cargo running in the background as well, isn't
The
it?
aircraft has pushed back from the stand.
Well,
As we
we're
make our
doing
way to
receive
the departure
messages.
runway, please make sure your
Hello,
seating and
Captain.
security
We are
will
ready
make
for
their way
pushback.
around the aircraft.
British Midland
The
Ops
weather is
can
looking good, so
bugger
it
off
should be a
the
nice,
2-minute delay.
comfortable climb up to our cruise level. Once we're airborne, there shouldn't be any issue during our climb. It's a pretty straightforward departure out of the airport, so nothing to worry
There's
about.
the final
there.
load sheet.
The wind forecast during our cruise is
91
very
plus
favourable,
3.
so we expect to arrive on time at our destination, but we will of course keep you up to
Teesside
date
traffic
should there be any
Osprey 495, departing runway 23, inbound Castle.
Completed. Bypass pin inserted.
10 and 8. About 10 and 7 really, isn't it, what we want? Oh no, it's not, that's too fast. It's 3. And 9 I think, is usually the sweet spot. Yes, there we go. It's almost ready, we've got to take away the ground equipment, the cones, the chocks.
Locking gear.
And then we are ready for push. We're going to be facing Bravo again for the backtrack, so we need the nose right.
58, taxiing runway 23, holding for Bravo.
So we'll wait for him. Fenix is really going a bit weird there for him on our AI. Chocks, cones, all the doors are closed. Ground equipment is clear. Nose right, tail left.
Traffic, speedbird 320 after Osprey taxi out, pushing back.
Ah, chuffineck. Teesside traffic, Midland 2 Tango Whiskey, stand 5 is going to push start in sequence with the Speedbird to the left. We're going to match him, so when he pushes back, we're going to push back as well. So that's good. Right, another thing we can do actually, just to set up here, we know that London North is online, 1337. So we're going to pre-tune that, ready?
Release parking brakes, please.
1337, like so.
Midland to Tango Whiskey, please go first, we have some issues here.
Commencing push. All
Yeah,
engines
Roger.
clear. Start at will.
Stand by while we start pushback. Okay, Captain. We're clear of the stand and you're free to start engines.
What the heck? Roll velocity exceedance detected, negative G-force, heavy turbulence, and acknowledgement required.
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
Anyone else's GSX crap out then?
Roger, lots of Speedbird 320 pushing back.
For goodness sake.
Mine is fine.
Hello, Captain.
Weird,
Now ready for
GSX.
pushback.
Don't know what happened there, because Q8L was still running in the background. I think, yeah, self-loading cargo for stuff like this is actually pretty nonsense, to be honest.
Hi, Captain.
How's it going?
We're just waiting for takeoff.
Departure
Everyone's
check
considered
completed.
Good.
Bypass pin
No
inserted.
problem at all.
Give me a call if you need anything else.
Super weird that. That's completely mucked us up, hasn't it? I'll face that way instead now. We'll just see what GSX does. Where it says if approach is the only ATC online, do I contact them for clearance? Yes. If it's the approach for your airport.
Locking
So
gear.
if you were at Manchester but Liverpool approach was online, you wouldn't contact Manchester approach. Lee JC, welcome, welcome. Let's see what happens again. See if we get the passengers scream. Scream if you want to go faster. Right, so we'll go nose left, tail right.
Release parking
And that way we
brakes.
don't impede the speed bird
Commencing
there.
push. All engines clear. Start at will.
What the heck? Right, we're just going to have to start the engines here then. We don't have a way to push back. Good night, Bernie. That's super odd. Oh well, it's pointless even looking at the 1347. Yeah, pointless even looking at the self-loading cargo flight report at the end of this, isn't it? 'Cause it's just going to be crap. Oh, it does. Neck tug. Great shouts. Living on a player, you absolute ledge. So we have to be pushed back tug. Oh, bless him, the tug ain't connected yet. Oh well, we'll just pretend. I love this. It's going so well, isn't it? Oh my goodness me, what the hell has happened there? What the heck? Oh, it's proper balked out now, hasn't it? The vehicle's caught up now anyway. But weirdly enough, the scenery's now broken. To stop the tug, park brake set, disconnect the tug. That's super weird. What the heck? Does anyone know why that happens? Anyway, flaps 1 up 0.1 for the trimmable horizontal stabilizer. Oops, wrong one. Up 0.2, which is about there. Mission mode normal. Ground spoilers armed. Rudder trim reset neutral. Flaps 1 plus F is selected and set. We'll pop the transponder on proper. That's all good. Takeoff data set. QNH is set. FCU is set and checked. Up at the top. Taxi lights on. APU off. Taxi. Auto brake max. Park brake off. Teesside traffic, Midland 2 Tango Whiskey, taxiing to 4-point runway 23 via the main apron and Bravo. Full right, full left, taxiing on idle, all the way back. Self-loading cargo might have thought we're in flight there, and all the way forwards. No idea why that's happened, that's super weird. Some sort of overlay or texture mapping issue there. Alrighty, lining up for the backtrack. Takeoff config test and normal.
Flying correction, feedback 320 taxi behind Midland.
Oh, that's weird. That's what I sound like. Ooh. Teesside traffic, Midland 2 Tango Whiskey via Bravo, backtrack 23. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, it's a very nice bit of airport scenery, to be fair. Not sure what happened with that weird bit of texture issue we had a moment ago, but that actually seems to have resolved itself now, which is nice to see. Oh no, now we have a different overlay over the FedEx hangar now. Bizarre. Okay, time for the backtrack. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know why that's happening. It's almost like the cache has kind of run out, but yeah, even the FBO look really weird. Something not quite configured right. Be interested to know if it's happened on any of the other streams. Departure charts already. Juliet Charlie Mike, welcome. Seems like the Sim's default is trying to override it. Interesting. Okay, takeoff memos, no blue. We've done all of our control checks. That's all set. Transponders on. Lights and signs. Cabin secure. Flight directors are on. We want to go back to heading vertical speed mode, not track FPA. Good job I noticed that. And a quick check of the windsock, indicating predominantly a headwind currently. We know the winds are variable. Always important to check the windsock. But otherwise going across from right to left by a few knots. Maybe 1 to 2 knot crosswind component there roughly. Certainly within limits for us today. So yeah, New Sky's good, V Pilot's good, Navigraph's good, diversion detected. Wow, it's actually recognised multiple landings for me there. Super weird. Teesside traffic, Midland 2 Tango Whiskies, taking off runway 23, direct to Glasgow. Raj, welcome. So there she is, all ready to go. Just going to click the right button there to hold her on the brakes. We're going to head back to Heathrow now, out of Flight X Simulation's new Teesside Airport scenery. So, holding on the brakes, because it is a shorter runway departure, to about 40% M1. Lovely noises for this. Keep hitting the like button, folks, as well. Oh, holding the brakes still. 1337. With that, park brakes set, engines to idle.
Easy 21 Victor, route direct Carno.
Redirect Carno at the EC21 Victor.
Helicat 231, 23 right, clear to land.
Clear to land at 3 light, Hotel Charlie 1.
Right, it was a nice design, wasn't it, Daniel?
Left heading 270 degrees.
Now we just sat burning fuel.
500 feet, cleared our left 23 right.
Left 3,500 feet, left 270 degrees, cleared our left 23 right, 595 Charlie Juliet.
London Control, hello. Speedbird 320, Teesside, holding point runway 05, request clearance.
Well, it's because I can't go anywhere now.
London, hello, hold position, you cleared to Heathrow after departure, route direct Glasgow, climb flight level 80, squawk 5017.
Oh, we've got an ATIS on now at November Victor. So he's extended where he was working then, basically.
Departure 8,000 feet, direct Glasgow, Speedbird 320, holding position.
River 320, thank you very much, and just hold at Bravo. There's an airplane on the runway still.
London Control, hello. Midland 2 Tango Whiskies, holding position runway 23 Teesside, QNH 1014, request clearance to London Heathrow, and we're ready for departure.
Midland 2 Tango Whiskey, London Control, thank you very much. I will call you back very shortly. Just got a couple of guys at Manchester, so I will call you back very shortly.
Roger.
Tom Jet 30 Echo, can you call Manchester Tower, please? Frequency is going to be stand by. That's 11865.
System.
Yeah, 11865, goodbye. Tom Jet 803, call Tower, please, 11865.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know that we are currently holding position. There's an aircraft departing in front of us.
India, just report your intention, please, to the Tower, 11865.
Thank you.
Golf Lima India Zulu, India request touching go runway 22 right.
Yeah, listen to what I'm saying, please. Call the Tower, 118625.
My bad.
So
call
that's
tower
all set,
118.
and we're just waiting for clearance and a transponder code, and then clearance to take off, because we are now under positive control with ATC.
Can we expect the
Commentators,
number
welcome.
1 hotel arrival?
Space 495 AFM, number 1 hotel arrival.
Looks like we've got full ATC now, very exciting.
LR728, climb now, flight level 190.
Climb now 1 house,
Ryanair 95 Charlie Juliet, Tower
I'm going to open my little bottle of Chocomel, and I guarantee at this point we'll get our clearance.
11865.
We'll have a mouthful of chocolate drink.
Thank you. Midland 2 Tango Whiskey,
Knew
hold
it.
position, cleared to Heathrow. After departure, redirect Gasco, climb flight level 80, and squawk 4445.
Cleared London Heathrow, hold position, runway 23. After departure, flight level 80, direct Gasco, and squawk 4445, Midland 2 Tango Whiskey.
Midland 2 Tango Whiskey, your redirect is correct. Runway 23, clear for takeoff. Wind 260 at 5.
23 clear takeoff, Midland 2 Tango Whiskey, thanks.
Speedbird 320 behind the departing British behind the departing British Midland A320 via
Well,
Bravo.
brakes off.
Backtrack line from 8 to
40% on the throttle.
Behind departing 320 Midlands, backtrack, runway 23.
2 clicks. Oh, we haven't got flex.
Panther 474, line of control. Hello, Roger.
Okay, Toga only.
Turkish 11, monitor Unicom 1228, good day.
We set a flex, I thought. B1. Rotate. B2. 3 degrees per second on the rotation, following the flight director's positive rate gear up. Almost rejected that takeoff then. Thankfully the eCam screen is really nice and visible there, so we can check quite easily. Okay, airborne.
Newcastle ready for departure.
Thrust lever climb.
123 Papa 25, clear to takeoff. Wind 2505.
There we go. LOD thing there going on as well by the looks of it. It's gone very fuzzy. Flaps 1 through S, cleared the aeroplane up, and we can disarm the ground spoilers. Auto brakes deactivated, we put the runway turn off lights on.
Resume duties.
0130, request taxi.
And the crew are released. 200 knots through our clean speeds. And we're climbing away.
130.
Easy 442, descend flight level 80.
Good afternoon once again from the cockpit. I hope all is well with you and you enjoyed flying with us so far. We're currently climbing up to our cruising altitude of 31,000 feet, so I thought I'd give you a quick update. We're expecting to arrive on time as planned. Progress is going very well. You'll next hear from me just before we start our descent. I'll be sure to keep you updated if anything changes, but in the meantime, please feel free to relax and take advantage of our onboard facilities. Thanks very much.
5,000. Transition at 6, we'll go standard pressure.
Under control, Fuzzy 102, ready for taxi.
Fuzzy 1802, sorry, are you at Manchester? Oh, no, you're at Teesside, aren't you?
That's correct, we're at Teesside, Fuzzy 150.
Are you able to taxi the whole length, or do you need Bravo?
Through 6.
I think Bravo will be okay, actually. What do you want to do?
Fuzzy 1802, Roger. Is the taxiway, sorry, I'm not entirely sure about Teesside actually. Is the taxiway width wide enough for you to go to Alpha 1, or do you need to go to Bravo?
Yeah, I can go to Alpha 1, actually, that's okay. Fuzzy 102.
No, you can't.
That's fine, let me know. Fuzzy 1802, taxi on point Alpha 1.
Gentlemen, good afternoon once again.
Hello, London Ryanair 95.
Need to step up now, otherwise we're not going to achieve climb.
23 right.
just a reminder to make sure that
95 Charlie Juliet, roger.
until the sign is turned off by the captain, at which point
London
you will
Hello,
be allowed to move around the cabin.
59 Lima Victor requesting a radio check.
Readability 5, break, Midland 2 Tango Whiskey, you identified, 12 miles southwest Teesside, it's a deconfliction service, climb flight level 310.
Don't forget that if you need assistance,
Deconfliction service, flying flight level 310, Midland 2 Tango Whiskey.
Midland 2 Tango Whiskey on track Gascade, cleared into controlled airspace.
Once again to wish you a pleasant flight, and I'll speak to you soon.
Too steep path ahead, it says. I don't know what he said there because it was too quick. And
Midland 2 Tango Whiskey on track Gascade, cleared into controlled airspace.
on track Glasgow, cleared into controlled airspace, Midland 2 Tango Whiskey. So that's a little bit more of a procedural, kind of actually almost VFR type clearance, in a way. Even though we filed for IFR, but it's because it sounds like there is no kind of radar support at Teesside, because there's no standard instrument departures and that sort of thing. So with that in mind, bear with me, I'll just turn landing lights off. Release the passengers. With that in mind, basically you're going to be entering controlled airspace via Glasgow instead, so this is kind of, it might be classed GS space. I'll have to look at the I'll have to look at all of the nav data and stuff, the actual paper charts. Yeah, weird. So from Glasgow we enter controlled airspace, and that clearance there is clearing us into the Papa 16 airway and therefore positive control under that airspace.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
12:31, climbing, and let's look at our Nugra 1 hotel arrival as well actually already, because this is super quick. So from Nugra 147 over Honolulu, Tobid flight level 200, then to Soppit flight level 130
kilo, roger, from Delta 125, cleared for takeoff, surface wind 2505.
Westcott, max speed 220,
good to take off runway 25 from Delta 1,
and then Bovington at flight level 70, speed 220 max. From there routing outbound 127 degrees, as we saw there from the charts, down to 6,000, then 3,500, vectoring over central London round to either 27 right or 27 left. We have planned for ILS 27 right via Bovington, which is that. But we might have to just change on the fly as we get closer, certainly if we get close to that 3 o'clock transition. Cat 2 ILS, Radout 102, so Perth page, next page.
And your reclaim under control airspace on track Gasco.
Barrow.
Fuzzy 180.
Radio 102 for Cat 2 ILS minimums. And config 3 is selected. Looking up, landing flap 3 enabled, and we revert back to the charts to think about where we might vacate. We already spoke about that earlier, so high intensity runway operations, 27 right, we're going to touch down, we're going to vacate either Alpha 9 Echo or Alpha 10 Echo, not sure which. We'll go for low auto brake and reverse idle.
London Control, good afternoon, Wizz Air 4619.
From there, probably Alpha 10 Echo to be fair. And then we'll vacate second left on Bravo if we're heading up this way, or we'll head down Echo down to Romeo for the pier. But if we have ATC, it depends on where they're going to get us to park effectively, so we'll just go with whatever they tell us if we have air traffic control. And that's it. Because we did most of our approach setup pre-flight, we could just kind of sit back and enjoy some of the views. What do we got here?
Climb now, flight level 190 for 30
LR728, monitor Unicom 1228, shalom.
DirectX 12, yes.
Shalom, EC21 Victor, descent flight level 290.
Is that the Peak District? I think it might be.
EC21 Victor, descent flight level 290.
Actually, descent flight level 290, EC29 Victor.
1095 Charlie Juliet, turn right heading 190 degrees, cleared ILS 23 right.
Yeah, it read multiple touchdowns, 88 foot per minute and minus 812 foot per minute, 0.5 G. So GSX proper crapped out there.
Juliet X-ray line of control. Hello, climb now, flight level 210.
Climb flight level 210, exit.
Gamma 01, I should have said you, Listo 1 Charlie arrival.
Listo 1 Charlie, Gamma 1.
Ryanair 1521, I have information. Alpha here at the airport.
Lazarus says London has gone offline right when I was going to make contact. Heathrow Chaos City is there.
Ryanair 145 on line of control.
Standard.
Hello, expect PDC.
Vortex Viewer. The runway was once the longest in the UK. In World War II, it was named RAF Goosepool because the Canadian Air Force were based there. It still has the concrete pods where the Lancaster bombers parked. Yeah, we saw that. We had a little look at those, the dispersed stands. Really, really nice.
Takeoff, thank you. 2182.
Speedbird 320, route direct Croft.
Direct Croft, Speedbird 320.
Midland 2 Tango Whiskey, you can route direct now to Nugra for the Nugra 1 hotel arrival.
Direct Nugra, Nugra 1 hotel arrival, Midland 2 Tango Whiskey, thanks.
95 Charlie Juliet, you're 1 o'clock, there's traffic that I'm not in contact with at the moment. Text pilot who doesn't appear to be having a clue what he's doing at the moment.
Oh, good old VATSIM. Classic. And there goes my phone, all my notepads and my pen. So, not much longer left, folks, to be on with a chance to win a copy of the new Flight X Simulations Teesside Airport scenery, which you can get via iniBuilds.
Cleared LS23 right, we have the localizer runner 95 Charlie Juliet.
All you've got to do is enter the giveaway by answering one question correctly in the live chat today. Make sure you subscribe beforehand. What have we got here? Manchester's down here somewhere, trying to spot it.
Sunjet 82 X-ray, expedite climb out of 6. You have anyway, that's fine. Sunjet 82 X-ray, can redirect now to Mammal.
London Centre, Vision 2 Mike Romeo. Are we supposed to be on your frequency now, or are we on my Unicom?
Vision, yeah, you should move to Unicom, please.
I was Unicom, do you want
That's 4619, descend, just expedite descent please to flight level 210.
1228 for the next frequency.
What's it for Wizz Air 4619?
Yes, with a 4619.
So VATSIM,
now, actually,
one of the biggest tips here is I'm talking away, I'm addressing you guys as well, and we're chatting and enjoying the stream, but my ear is always tuned in, ready for our call sign. So the second I hear the word Midland, that is when my ears prick up and I need to try and be listening in.
The deconfliction service, you'll be leaving control you'll be leaving control airspace shortly.
Okay, thank you. 2182.
So low order brake, flat config free, and that's all good. So we're pretty much chill there. We've got what 10 minutes to top of descent, I think. It might be in the progress page.
Charlie Juliet fully established.
95 Charlie Juliet, thank you. Call tower 118625. Bye bye.
1342, yeah, 10 minutes to descent.
Sia runner 95 Charlie Juliet.
Louder 9502, descent to altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1016.
Hi.
Just to let you know, there's around 10 minutes to go until we start descending.
Thank you.
Flight control, just letting you know, Sunjet 30 Echo, logging off the network. It's got a sort of
yeah, that's what I was saying a minute ago, commentator. It's a little bit more VFR-y than IFR. And I think it's because of the way the radar systems are maybe worked and based at Teesside. So perhaps you'll fly with controlled airspace but without radar service, or basic radar service instead, where you get a deconfliction up to the entries into any airways like we had earlier on at where did we go direct to? Glasgow. So I wonder if everything in this red line here, even though that's the NDB range, split into quadrants, but just imagine that that's kind of like the radar range of the tower. One would assume that we just get a basic service or a deconfliction service or a traffic service around there, from Glasgow we can pick up our IFR route, because there are no
just to let
SIDs.
you know, sir, I'm with you now. I'm just climbing and now settling at 350.
Sierra 342, thank you. Maintain flight level 350. It's a dis at 1 Golf arrival, Gatwick.
Dis at 1 Golf arrival, maintaining 350.
With a 4619er, expect the ILS to.
Overall so far, Fenix version 2. Not sure about that weird pushback issue on the turnaround with GSX. But I think that's a GSX problem, not a Fenix problem, unless the two are fighting one another again, I'm not sure. Be interested to hear if you guys have had the similar kind of behaviour with it or not. Not sure.
Fuzzy 1802, climb flight level 230.
But otherwise, I would be very. I'm very impressed with this Fenix so far. The reverser worked immediately when we touched down. Landing is a bit twitchy. I think that's my profiles though. When we were talking about linear. So for those of you who know what linear is, when we get to Heathrow, remind me. I'll have a quick look at my settings. To see if perhaps we can tweak it a little bit more. Mr. Cube, I don't use DLSS, I use DirectX 12 and TAA with my RTX 4090.
Descend to altitude, you can descend to 4,000 feet now.
Maintain 4,000, Lauda 9502, thanks for the help.
Big Phil says, Luke, any idea when the 15-ounce hard landing mugs might be back in stock? I don't know, let's find out.
And do you want us to maintain our current airspeed or reduce it, Lauda 9502?
Yeah, Lauda 9502, reduce speed to 180 knots or less, please.
180 left, Lauda 9502.
I don't know, I'll email them. I'll grab a quick screen grab of it. And then I'll ask them over on Discord. Because they're pretty decent at responding to us. Whether or not things are in stock or not. It's a brand new product, so it might have just been very popular and sold out quite quick.
I'm afraid you come on to take
Fourth. Where's my merchant provider's Discord server? There it is.
Tomjet. EZ43 Yankee Lima, monitor Unicom 1228, good day. Shuttle 13 Kilo redirect to Nugra for the Nugra 1 Hotel arrival Heathrow.
Living on a player and Christopher, thank you guys. Both got your DMs there with the info about the linear curves, and I've asked our folks, our merchandise providers, fourth wall to work out when it's all going to be happening, when that snazzy 15-ounce one will be back in stock. The unmistakable drone of the CFMs. CFM 56, isn't it? I think this power plant. No RB211, is it? On a 757. Yeah, I mean, I was just saying a minute ago. Overall, really happy with this Fenix version 2. I've been struggling with a couple of bugs which have, for me, ruined the experience with V1 Fenix. Made it very unusable. To the point where I was actually actively avoiding it, to be fair.
Midland 2 Tango Whiskey, be leaving my space shortly. 1 at Unicom 1228, bye bye.
Unicom 1228, so Midland 2 Tango Whiskey, thanks, have a good day.
Lauda 9502, turn left,
it's too steep path ahead.
Degrees.
I hope not.
Heading 180, Lauda 9502.
Let's see how.
Tomjet 8 Juliet X-ray, you can redirect now to Dibal and climb flight level 330.
Exactly, Clipper. I don't care about the EFB. When it comes, it's going to enable a little bit more functionality within the flight deck. So having to go out of the sim less, which is a nice thing, but like you said, it doesn't change the way the aeroplane flies, so I'm not that fussed. For me, I'm just really, really buzzed for the 777. I think we're going to maybe expect it, at a guess, around November, December. If it comes slightly earlier, I would be happier than that. Does anyone know how to fix that engine selector bug? I'm not sure which bug you mean, to be honest. Mike, so it's different to a basic service. So basic service is the most, it's the lowest level of kind of VFR service that you can get. Traffic service, a deconfliction service. Deconfliction service is relevant to IFR and stuff as well, which is why we had that on the outbound flight today. You can get a deconfliction service with airliners and IFR traffic. So effectively what it is a traffic service, but the ATC will give you radar vectors to assist you in avoiding any traffic around you, to basically help pilots prevent any near misses and things. A traffic service will just tell you where the traffic is. A deconfliction service will help you navigate away from any threats. So just think of it as radar vectors to avoid other traffic in the area. That's probably the simplest way to think of that. But something unique with Teesside actually, really, in relation to that scenery that you can get when flying on the VATSIM network that you might not necessarily get anywhere else. So I'm going to set 70 on the FCE. We're on Unicom now, so I'm going to flick across. HGF says, did you know it's pronounced Phoenix, hence the logo? Yeah, the logo is a Phoenix, but I've said this story a few times in the past. When I was chatting to the Fenix developers prior to its release, one of their lead staff kept calling it Fenix, and because of that, it's kind of stuck in my mind that I call it Fenix. But yeah, it is what it is. Managed descent 7,000. How's that cabin service coming along? Crikey, only two crew serving drinks. I need to hurry that up. Surely they're serving drinks as well. Clipper, no. No, I can say Phoenix. It got drilled into my head by Mike on voice chats prior to its release a little while ago. So I'm not going to put the seatbelt sign on yet. I want to wait for these to get finished. And this is where self-loading cargo doesn't really kind of get domestic flights, because the passengers are all, half of them are hungry, a quarter of them need the toilet, and to me that doesn't really make sense, because on the domestic hop, the passengers all know it's so fast you barely get time to leave the seat. You basically stay out of the way of the cabin crew to help them do the service before you land.
If you need to visit the toilet, it may be worth making your way towards one now. You'll next hear from me after landing, so I will wish you a very good afternoon.
That's something perhaps they can look at doing in the future, in an improvement or a tweak. Having an additional domestic service set up in the pre-config when you're setting up SLC at the start of your flight. That'd be quite cool. And that would maybe change the expectations of the passengers beyond that of a short haul or medium haul flight that we would otherwise operate. As I said earlier on as well, join us tomorrow, same time. We're going to be flying to Ponta Delgada. Might do it an hour later actually, might go for 1300 UK time, 1200 UTC. But yeah, we're going to be flying Iberia in the fly-by-wire A320X, latest development version. We'll be zipping out of Madrid, Latin VFR's lovely Madrid airport scenery, Madrid Baraja, and we're going to be heading up to Ponta Delgada in the Azores. New scenery created by iniBuilds, which looks amazing. We have one copy to give away tomorrow of that scenery as well, so be sure to tune in, take part.
be in with a chance to win. And then we're going to zip across to Horta to check out, very briefly, the new Simulations Horta Airport scenery as well. Also in the Azores, a very, very short flight from one island to another. Freeway Alicante, Harry, is fantastic. It's made by one of our good friends here on the channel, Hergy, who's not in the live chat today, actually, I don't think. Usually he is. Same developer behind a few others, like the Freeware Oslo Garderman. There he is, Hergy1234. There's the chap who made the Freeware Alicante, Harry. So 15 minutes to go until the runway change at Heathrow. We're going to be right on the cusp of a runway change to 27 left for arrival instead of 27 right. But we'll see how we go, and we'll play it by ear. And by the way, I haven't really addressed this, I guess, in a stream or anything like that, but there's been a lot of stuff across the community, news articles, nonsense clickbait, YouTube videos, all this kind of, a load of BS about Aerosoft getting state funding to develop some aeroplanes. And it's kind of being dressed up as if it's a bad thing, with speculation which is quite unhelpful in relation to the state of their finances at the company and all that kind of thing. It's very, very unhelpful. To be honest with you guys, don't bother reading any of it or watching any of it. It's just nonsense. They're talking out their arse. A lot of state funding, quite a few developers across the EU and in the UK, probably in the US as well, and probably even Orbex in Australia, will have all received some sort of state funding at some point for development of their product, whether that be a grant or part of a government pot of money, like a development fund or something like that. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. What it might mean is they can just divert resources to various other things. Maybe add more resources so that they can not only continue with their current projects but expand into other projects as well. Not necessarily against EU rules anyway, Daniel. It depends on how the state funding is kind of set up, but that kind of thing isn't against EU rules, I don't think. There are developers in the UK that have had UK gaming industry grants given to them as well. It's a global thing, but people seem to be fixated on it being Aerosoft are in financial problems, blah blah blah. But it's just nonsense, folks. Try not to absorb any of it, to be fair. I find it quite frustrating, actually, because I think it's downright unfair. A downright unfair bashing on Aerosoft unnecessarily, and maybe a little bit disrespectful on them as well. Didn't Copra get millions in grants for Cyberpunk 77? Christopher says. CDPR, probably. Yeah, and this is the other thing, because if the people that are making these nonsense videos or half-baked, half-assed articles actually wanted to do some decent reporting, they would go into all of the developers. They would look at Orbex. They would look at various other games across the wider industry to see how these grants actually work.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. I've made
That's my 2 cents on it anyway. I wanted to address it because it is something that's been winding me up over the last few days, just watching people bash Aerosoft for getting something that they are allowed to apply for. Why not? And if it means that we get better products, then happy days. Elephant Man says, how do you find the new self-loading cargo? I still haven't decided, to be fair. Andy says, half-baked, half-assed articles and videos in the flight sim community. No. I know. Yeah, we've got it. I've been fighting clickbait and all sorts since I started this channel, but it just seems to be getting worse, doesn't it, to be fair? I give up. So I'll try and speak out when I can, but that's about it. Beyond that, it is what it is. But yeah, try not to get engulfed in any of the nonsense, folks. You know, if they were that bothered as well, they could just do a freedom of information request to some of these companies, or even the German government or the EU in relation to where, you know, who's had what grant. It wouldn't be difficult, would it? And then they would actually have a proper informative article with facts in it, rather than speculation. And, as the Flying Panda says, it's in their government's interest to try and expand the industry from their side of things. So if they can make Aerosoft an even bigger company, that will then create an improvement to their economy locally as well. Therefore, they get the money back into their economy from the grant that they had invested previously. So that's how it works. It's just what it is. Yeah, Nighthawk, but it doesn't really, because I've watched it, and it's just there's far too much speculation. There's far too much speculation in it, to be honest. It's nonsense. Even the articles, they don't go into enough actual detail. You know, go look at all the others. That's what I'd say to them. Go look at all these other companies as well, not just one. You've got to look at all of them. You can't just lambast Aerosoft or make it look like it's just them, which is exactly what they've done. It's important that there's balance to it. Trevor, welcome. Flight Sim Brand channel, Andy. No, that's Reddit, buddy. Or VATSIM.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned the seatbelt signs on. Please take your seats. You must now remain seated until the signs are turned off. Thank you.
Christopher saying that his government gave Spotify a lot of money back in 07 and 08 to get their stuff developed. Yeah, now look how much money they're likely to bring into the economy for you guys. It's a good call by them back in the day. Okay, let's get the speed brakes right out now. Intercom, PA system, isn't it? "10 minutes to landing, roughly." Which means we might be the first aircraft in.
Cabin crew, prepare the cabin for landing.
Okay, 1403, so therefore we're going to change the runway. Arrival 27 left, via Bovington. So we're doing a on-the-fly runway change. There we go, runway 27 left.
Remember to turn off all electronic devices until after landing. Thank you.
Quick check of the data. With that as well, folks, actually it's really important. We've changed the runway, we now have to set our configuration again. So charts, very quickly, we're going to flick this now, change to, oops, chuffy neck. 27 left. There we go. So, we're going to be doing this instead. So, same as before, Bovington all the way around London, but instead extending further south over the river, and then flying Cat 2 ILS initially, ILS DME, runway 27 left, hit inbound course of 269, and now we have an inbound frequency for the ILS 1095, what else? And a minimum's 102. So we're going to reset 102, config 3 is still selected, and our approach speeds are all set and checked. .280 at 6, 23 degrees, QNH 1016. Through 10,000 now. So, lights and signs. Quick check of the overhead for the landing config flap 3 selection. That's good.
and we're going to continue the descent down to 3,000 now. Let's clear that. Yeah, you could use a secondary flight plan. That's a good shout, MPS. And the missed approach for this now... Oh, was it? Did I put it in there by accident? That's possibly a very, very good spot. Yes, great spot, Christopher. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's 102 radio, not Barrow. My goodness. Good spot. Missed approach then is climb straight ahead when passing 1080, all 0 DME ILL, which is the threshold of 27 left. Whichever is later, climbing turn left track 147 degrees to 2,000 feet. When passing 6 DME London, climb without delay to 3,000 then as directed. It's in the description, Liam. You tell me. (1016). And we got no ATC, standard. Heathrow traffic, Midland 2 Tango Whiskey is an A320 overhead, Bovingdon, Nougra 1 hotel arrival, and routing for the ILS runway 27 left approach for the 3 o'clock change. Currently flight level 70 for 3,000. We'll report turning over the river. LD, welcome. Okay, I'm not anticipating needing to use ground spoilers anymore, so we're going to get them armed. Let's get this down Navy style. 1016 for the local pressure. Lovely clouds. Very impressed with the Fenix V2 now. Still not quite the kind of the grin that I get from the PMDG 737, because that's more hands-on, there's more to do, but this just flies really nicely now. Very enjoyable update. Oh, Andy, I hope I've got the model matching for it. Is it Speedbird Concorde 1 or something like that for the call sign? Oh, chuffing heck. It's rendering in as an A321 for me. That's heartbreaking. Does FSLTL and AIG neither have Concorde? My goodness. LD, I've made a general tutorial on camera views, which is worth checking out, but you could just walk into the cabin and set them up as you wish. So on heading mode now, usually heading 127 degrees. Oh my goodness.
For traffic Speedbird 6 November Charlie, departing to 7 left.
Why did it do that? We'll go back to approach phase. New Bovingdon heading 125 roughly. Good job, Lazarus. Oh, that's ridiculous, Christopher, isn't it? We reverted from managed mode to heading to vertical speed mode and open descent, that's why. Okay, down we go. See the VNAV ball anyway. want to make sure that's set to all for now.
Sorry about that. EG874 on the ILS runway 26 left.
So, 1 minute to go for the runway change, so we've actually timed it perfectly. I thought we were going to arrive just beforehand. We would have done if it wasn't for the London North coming online and giving us ATC. And that's much more preferable than getting to Heathrow on time, isn't it? Having some decent air traffic control. So big thanks to them. Max 180 knots. So we're going to go flap 1 now. Extend flaps and increase the drag on the airframe.
Cabin crew, please take seats for landing.
Here we go. Look at London. The RTX 4090 just makes London really pop. Need to use a bit of speed brake here.
Yellow traffic is runway 26 left clear.
Around we go, look at that. Oh yes. That is spectacular. Look at that. Orbex London City in the background. Beautiful, beautiful views. Can't focus too long though because we'll overshoot the ILS, so let's turn in. And get rid of the music. 269. .246 will do. 180, 12 miles. There's the airport. We'll go for 240 actually, otherwise we're going to end up busting the glide slope before we establish on the localizer. I don't want to step down. Sorry about the noise, knocking my headset there. Brian, hello buddy, thank you very much, been with us, wow, for 26 months, thank you for all of the ongoing support there, hope you're well. Heathrow Traffic Midland 2 Tango Whiskey is established ILS, 27 left, 9 miles to land. Heathrow Traffic. 180 till 8, 160 till 4. Autopilot 2, 3000 is the missed approach. Glide slope's active, Cat 3 dual. Glide slope's alive.
2,500.
Check. Very little work for us to do here. Just sit back and we can enjoy some of these beautiful views just for a minute. Flap 2, speed 160. Little twitchy look. Insane nose down pitch with flap 2 though. Rather unnaturally so. What does that look like from the outside? Doesn't look that dramatic, does it? But bizarre. It's almost as if the speed's fairly controllable. Gear down, get some drag. 6 miles. I'm just going to go to manage speed now. And landing config flap 3. So we're going to set flap 3 as well. 10 knot headwind, look at the speed. It's kind of completely ran away from itself. This isn't a massively efficient aircraft in real life. Twickenham, home of England rugby. Coming up to 4 miles now. Speeds, well, that's to be fair, we're just lucky with that really. There's Twickenham. Beautiful.
Heathrow traffic, Speedbird Concorde 3 is waiting at November Bravo 1, runway 27.
1000.
Heathrow traffic, Toggy 180, just past from Bobbinan, flight level 72, descending to 2000 feet for the ILS, runway 27 left.
Heathrow traffic, Midland 2 Tango Whiskies, 3 mile final, 27 left. Cat 1 ILS, autopilot off, my controls. Let's land. So flap config 3 allows us to fly a little bit faster approach by a few knots. It potentially then allows us to land, being more efficient as well with the aircraft.
500.
A little bit of sync then all of a sudden. Quite a bit of sync all of a sudden there. My goodness. Okay, here we go. Passing Hatton Cross.
Above.
That's a Concorde, not a A321.
Minimum
Continue.
100.
Wow.
50. 40.
Looking ahead.
30. 20.
Check.
Retard.
Hold in the flare.
Heathrow
Oh, it floats, doesn't it?
3 running up runway 27 left.
5.
Oh, you know what? That was almost a mandatory go around there past the touchdown zone. It doesn't land as nicely as V1. Forgot about reverse idle, didn't I?
Traffic in ET4, Juliet Lima, line up back track and take off from 825.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London. The local time is 3:06 p.m.
Living on a Player says, really floaty, it's not you, it's the Fenix, interesting.
Celsius outside, that's 73 Fahrenheit. Please check around your seat for any personal belongings you may have brought on.
Landed a bit right of centre line there, a bit disappointed with myself.
The overhead bins, as heavy articles may have shifted around during the flight. If you require deplaning assistance, please remain in your seat until all other passengers have deplaned. One of our crew members will then be pleased to assist you. Please remain seated until the aircraft reaches the gate. The captain will turn off the seatbelt sign once it's safe to get up. Thank you.
Departure behind departure line of runway.
Cabin crew, please set doors to manual.
Heathrow traffic, Midland 2 Tango Whiskies, vacated 27 left at November 6. Taxi into the Romeo cul-de-sac. So, second right.
Heathrow traffic, Speedbird Concorde 3, taken off runway 27 left.
Lights and signs set and checked. APUs in the start process. Flaps back up to 0. And with it, the ground spoilers disarmed. Minus 222 foot per minute, pretty good. And yeah, look at that, right on the edge of the touchdown zone there. So any later than that, it would have been a mandatory go around. Doc says in Fenix version 2 you don't even need to flare because the plane will flare by itself due to the ground effect. If you flare too much you will float. Yeah, but that's just too, yeah, like Simon says, that's gone from one extreme to another though, hasn't it? That's a Concorde in real life. Not in real life, on VATSIM. The pilot's actually on in a Conc, not an A320.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Heathrow traffic, Speedbird 320, establish localizer for next 10 miles.
Start deboarding and you'll be able to leave the aircraft. Thank you.
What did we start at gate-wise? Does anyone remember? I can't. 30 something, wasn't it? 30...
Departure, takeoff runway 27 left, departure Hardy 1, separate.
Parking stands, that'll do. 309, lovely jubbly. Handling by Donata, that'll do. LS mode, let's pop that back.
Yeah, flap 3 felt very weird, Christopher there, but airports like Heathrow, the A320s pretty much all land with flap config 3. Taxi lights off. I think I accidentally turned them off. Into the Romeo cul-de-sac. Thing is, the flight model, they've changed it. It is what it is. We just have to get used to it, don't we? That's the thing. Doesn't matter if it's correct or not. If that's what we have, we just have to get used to it. And if it is the realistic one, then fair play. And that's on us to kind of relearn it, isn't it? And relearn the techniques for flare and landing in the A320. Overall, really quite happy with this Fenix version 2. It's nice to have an uneventful and enjoyable 2 sectors in it without significant problem or frustration or me wanting to punch my screen and throw it out the window, which is what I had last time I flew the Fenix and the time before that. Whenever I get all those really frustrating bugs.
Traffic, speedbird 320, final 27, left 3 miles.
How was that stopped too far? Looks bang on to me. Anyway, engines 1 and 2. That's all good, that's all set.
Ground to cockpit. Go ahead.
And we can get rid of
Microphone
this.
check, please. Loud and clear. Roger. Okay, Captain. Ground power is available. Stand by. We'll start getting you offloaded in a couple of minutes.
How the chucking is it
Roger.
going? There we go. Okay, so that's good. Seatbelt signs.
Cabin crew, the aircraft is secure and the jetway is connecting. You are clear to start deboarding.
Let's reset that. There we go. So we can have a little look at New Sky to check out our score for this touchdown. 9.4 off-center light landing, yeah, that's on me. Long landing, look, we got penalised for that, too far. But a great touchdown nevertheless. And there was our routing for today. Big old curve in the sky. We actually made a slight profit from it as well, bizarrely, with only half of the capacity of the aircraft on board. Not bad. And then with self-loading cargo, we can watch them all disembark like so. It's time to draw the winner. See who's won a copy of this new Fly X simulation Teesside International Airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator, available and prize, in fact, courtesy of our friends at iniBuilds. So a big good luck to everybody who's taken part today. 84 eligible entries. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream today as well. And the winner, all they have to do is contact me, britishAvGeek1@gmail.com, or via our Discord server as well. But the winner is Andy Finley. Congratulations to you. I think you're still in the live chat somewhere. You've won a Teesside by Fly X Sim, courtesy of iniBuilds. While all that's kicking off, we'll try and find where the others are. Ah, there's the shuttle that's just landed. Oh no, he's just taken off. off he goes. Okay, we've got one on final, I think. Oh, American was there earlier. Right, let's see who we got on final. So on Volanta, we'll zip on down. Who have we got here?
Steve, 2 Alpha will be taxiing from runway 27 left and we'll be holding short.
Out of November Victor. Cool, that's the last one then. And we shall watch him land. It's probably because there's very little air traffic control, to be fair, online. Let's have a look at the control options that we mentioned about linear. So, where is it?
Traffic, Airbus 320 Papa. We're about 7 miles.
Here's a question though. I mean that's pretty linear. That is linear. It's just a straight line. But we still had the weird buffeting and the rockiness and the instability on final.
Someone landing to 27 right in front of me.
Weird. So actually, there's nothing to change.
27 left.
Is there?
Copy, thank you.
Unless I've entirely misunderstood the setup of it all. But yeah, linear with a decent dead zone. So that rockiness where all of a sudden the aeroplane's like doing this on final, short final, both at Teesside and Heathrow, seems to be a bit of a weirdness in the Fenix. Living on a Places, I think it would work better for you to use the -30 sensitivity. Is that in the document you guys have sent me? I haven't read it yet. Bam. Our final pilot in today from Teesside. The link for the Teesside scenery I think is in the description. If not, you can find it on the iniBuilds website.
Traffic, Airbus 320 Papa, short final 27 right.
And similarly, tomorrow we've got another giveaway, as I mentioned earlier, on the iniBuilds Ponta Delgada airport scenery. D+ again. What the chuffing heck? Oh, I'm not having that. That's the kind of stuff that makes you want to stop using self-loaded cargo. Oh, that's why. Because of the gump we had earlier on at with GSX at the gate. Ah, goodness me. Completely wrecked my score, that did. Oh well. Yeah, we're off Madrid to Ponta Delgada in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Very much looking forward to it actually as well. It's going to be quite nice. Touchdown. Air Belgium. Ooh. Look at that backdrop, folks. I do love this Heathrow scenery. It's very, very nice. Let's watch this Air Belgium land. YouTube LD. All of my tutorials are on YouTube. It's a more generic how to set custom views in Microsoft Flight Simulator video. But the bit where it goes into changing the aircraft config files to -40, ignore that. All you've got to do is just look for the little bit in the video that tells you how to set the keybinds for setting custom views. And then just walk back down through the door in the cabin to set them yourself. That's all you've got to do. Here we go. Wrong runway, but nice to see an Air Belgium. Tiny and slightly pointless airline, if I may say so. There we go. Right, yeah, tomorrow then, folks. Fly-by-wire AP2NX, Fly-by-wire AP2NX development branch, Iberia, Madrid to Ponta Delgada. Then a little hop, time permitting, to the new Simulations Horta, and we're going to give away a copy of that iniBuilds Ponta Delgada scenery, which has got the bay and all sorts of really nice stuff in the scenery. So keep an eye. We're going to get that scheduled in the next hour or so when I get a chance. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the 2 sectors we've done today. in a old school BMI livery out of Heathrow to Teesside and back again. Big warm welcome to those of you who've hit the subscribe button throughout the day, and our new channel members, James as well, joining us as a gold member earlier on today too. Don't forget, if you are a channel member and you're in our Discord, you link your YouTube account into your Discord user settings and it will get you access to our members only areas within our Discord server. Hit like and subscribe before you head off today, and I hope to see you all tomorrow for a little bit of fly by wire love. Take care. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Traffic PS15 taking off 27.